Hello, my name is Kim and welcome to your January 2026 predictions video where we are going to find out what it is that you can look forward to and or expect this month of January. So I will be starting off each reading by sharing with you an intuitively channeled message, and once I have done so, I will move on to our first set of cards, which will offer us an overview of the month as well as a look at what the main themes and or lessons of January will be. Once we have looked into that, I will be proceeding on to the next method of divination to obtain more information about what it is that you can expect and or look forward to this month of January. And I will be closing each reading by pulling out an extra oracle card that is meant to provide extra guidance, advice, and or messages that will hopefully be of assistance to you throughout this month of January. Okay, but with that being said, let us now take a closer look at the options. Group 1 is baby blue. Group 2 is pink. Group 3 is dark blue. Group 4 is yellow. Please take a moment to meditate on the options, and whichever color and card you are drawn to the most, then that will be the group and a reading meant for you. Once you have selected, please head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section down below to find the timestamp that will direct you to your selected group. Okay, and if you are ready, then let us get started. Let's go! Hello, if you were drawn to group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. So this month of January, you are raising the bar. So this may mean that you are raising your standards, or you're the one raising the standard in a group, in a school or workplace. It could even be in an industry. But if you are planning to retake an exam, then your test or exam score, could even be presentation score, will be higher than your previous score. Yeah, there is something here about you doing better this time around, or surpassing a previous score or another's score. Now that I said that, I immediately thought of video games and how players can surpass other players' top score. Yeah, so if you love playing video games and you're very competitive, in the month of January, you will be surpassing another's high score. And something else that came through is you will have a support group or a support system. Yeah, I just sense a lot of people being very supportive of each other or of another. And your guides, if you believe in spirit guides or angels, guardian angels, archangels, they do want to let you know that they are here with you and that they will be with you by your side, looking after you, guiding you, protecting you all throughout the month of January. And it's not only your spirit guides or guardian angels, it's also loved ones who are on the other side who you often maybe pray to, think about, or even miss. And something about jury duty did come through, or about the law, court. So if you are in the process of or going through some kind of court trial, your guides want you to know that it's all going to be all right. I heard it's nothing to worry about. It's all taken care of, or it will all be taken care of. So things might get resolved before the month of January ends, or right at the end of January. And if this is about jury duty and there's some worry or concern about this, the very same thing, your guides are letting you know it's all going to work out, or whatever you're worrying about, it either won't come to pass or it's already taken care of. It'll be okay, is what they're saying. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the cards. And the first card I want to reveal to you guys is the one that you were drawn to. So this card belongs to a homemade deck that contains quotes from the animated series Adventure Time. And this is a exchange between the two main characters, Jake and Finn. And we have Jake saying, "I don't think you've mastered it yet," with Finn replying, "Well, not duh, I just started." So this month of January, you may be starting something new, like learning or practicing a new skill or a language is what I heard. Or maybe you are continuing to develop a skill or a practice that you began a while back. And so because this is something that you are barely starting or still fairly new to you, you are simply being advised to not be discouraged if you find that in the month of January there is still so much to learn or that you do need a little bit more practice. Even if this is something that you begun learning or practicing a few months or years ago. So give yourself some time and continue with your practice. Continue developing the skill or skills or learning more. I sense that a lot of you are deciding to level up. So this month you may be challenging yourself in a way that encourages you to expand your skill set or grow your skills. You are raising the bar, which also means that your skills are improving and or you are seeing improvements within this month. Okay? But now I'm going to draw out the first set of cards that will give us an overview of the month, as well as a look at the main themes and lessons of the month of January. I do want to add that although you're not, let's say, a master yet, or you haven't mastered whatever it is that you are picking up or have recently picked up, you are still quite good at it, or you will be doing far better than you expected yourself to this month. Okay? But for your card, we have the second house with Mercury and Taurus, the key term resistance. Put this up here. And then we also have overstimulated with spread thin, number 55, and the message: you may be working too hard within work or a relationship. Take a moment to understand what is overstimulating your mind or body. And then we have number 41 with it's blowing up a storm, and the key phrase is strong momentum, sudden change, necessary shakeup, transformation, and hope. Okay. And for the last card, actually put this over here. Put this over here. Ooh, okay, so 3 cards just flew out, kind of spat out from the deck. And we have the 10 of diamonds, number 8, with the scythe. The king of hearts with number 24, hand in hand. And then lastly, we have the 9 of diamonds with number 39, the heart. Okay. So the first thing that is really standing out to me is the number 55, because we have a repeating digit, which is 5. And the number 5 often indicates sudden change or very transformative shifts. So with the it's blowing up a storm card, one thing that just came to mind out of the blue is it could be getting pretty windy where you will be at or located during the month of January, or for the majority of the month of January. Yeah, so watch out for strong winds, or heavy rain is also what is coming through. But going back to what I was about to say is this month there may be a lot of unexpected or last minute changes and or shifts. There could come a point within the month of January that you might feel like a lot is up in the air, or there's a lack of maybe consistency or order, because I'm getting this feeling of things getting jumbled up, right? A schedule or a routine getting disrupted, or appointments getting canceled or rescheduled. Yeah, so there could be a lot of last minute changes that could end up creating this feeling of maybe uncertainty or just chaos. But this does feel brief, it does feel momentary, so it could be like a week or two within the month of January that things are going to feel a bit up in the air, or where you might not be able to fully rely on your schedule, or your routine might get disrupted. You might not be able to fully rely on your routine. But then things will settle down because we do have the rainbow appearing in the It's Blowing Up a Storm card. So it makes me think of the calm after the storm. So you will be experiencing calm within this month. And it will definitely be after a very chaotic or unorganized time. And with the overstimulated card, it might be during this time when things are feeling up in the air that you yourself might end up feeling a bit overstimulated, and it could be because of a lack of routine, or because there's so many last minute changes. But what I'm also sensing is this month you might be finding yourself quite busy or with a lot to do. You may be taking on multiple projects, or find yourself being pretty booked with work, tasks, responsibilities. Because I am seeing two different situations. One is that someone is literally taking on way too much. They are filling their plate to the brim. Maybe they are thinking, oh yeah, I can definitely handle all of this, or I will have the time for all of this. Or they could be getting a little bit overexcited with what is available and taking without really taking a moment to consider whether they will have the time for all that which they are taking on. And then later on, when they are already handling all of these tasks, that's when they realize, oh wait, maybe I took on too much, right? And the other situation that I'm seeing is of someone who, is scheduling things appropriately, but then these last minute changes that I spoke about previously happen. And that results with the person finding themselves booked or loaded with work. Yeah, because I'm seeing a situation where maybe something was due the month of February, right? But then all of a sudden things change at some point during the month of January, and now this thing that was due in February is now due within the month of January, right? And it's not only that thing, it's something else too. And so now there's so many things to attend to, there's so many things due, or so many things to take care of that before weren't exactly there or weren't imminent. And it's interesting because we have the number 2 here, which reminds me of the month of February. So yeah, some things might get pushed into the month of January, because I get this feeling of things getting crammed, or maybe this could be about cramming. Because something else that I'm seeing for those of you who are students is you possibly, again, either taking on too much, or like maybe taking several classes and then realizing that maybe you should have been a little bit more lenient with that and not have taken on too much. Or you may find yourself cramming, because I am seeing a situation where someone might be wanting to finish something quickly within a short amount of time, or learn something quickly or maybe even catch up in a short amount of time, because there is something here about deadlines. So some of you may be giving yourself deadlines, and if you are, all you're being advised is to be fair with yourself when it comes to these deadlines that you are imposing on yourself, right? You don't want to give yourself a deadline that doesn't really give you the opportunity to invest the amount of time that you need to get something done accordingly or properly, right? Or maybe to learn something without the unnecessary pressure, right? So be very mindful and careful of your expectations this month of January. Be logical, be reasonable, be fair with yourself. But apart from self-imposed deadlines, I do also see deadlines that you might need to meet within this month of January. And if you are already aware of these deadlines, the advice for you is give yourself the adequate amount of time to meet them. If this is about, exams that you're going to take in the month of January, maybe not postpone studying for these exams so that you won't end up having to cram for them, unless that's something that works for you, right? If it works for you, then that might be the route that you will be taking this month of January. But if not, just consider giving yourself an adequate amount of time, a window of time to study without the pressure, or to just get all the studying that you need done, okay? Right. And if you are teachers, tutors, mentors, this month you might be struggling a bit with a student or two, because with the card resistance, I do see someone kind of struggling here, or someone being non-cooperative, or someone being very stubborn. So you might be working with a student or an apprentice who could be a little stubborn, who might not listen quite well or follow instructions quite well, because they like to do things their way, or they like to try their way first before giving in, because that's how they might perceive it, as giving in to whatever it is that you are recommending. But with overstimulated, I am also seeing a situation where you might be working with someone who tends to get overstimulated fairly quickly, right? So this person might require a little bit of patience from you, or they just might require a little bit of patience in general. This is someone who might also require a different approach, because the usual approach might not work for them, right? So for example, if the teacher goes over the lesson first and then has the students work on an example or solve a problem, for this student it's specific, that might not work. What might work for them instead is to try out examples while going through the lesson. It's like doing the thing while going through the instructions, that sort of thing. That's just an example, right? And I gave the example of a teacher-student, mentor-apprentice dynamic, but it doesn't only have to be in these type of dynamics, because I also do see this happening in like a work environment. So for example, if you're training someone, or if you're working alongside another, collaborating with another, there could be a little bit of bumping heads at the start, or there could be a difference in how you work or in your pace. Right? And now that I mentioned pace, this month you are being highly advised to not overdo it, to not push yourself to do something very, very quickly, or expect yourself to get something done, or have something figured out, or have mastered something that you barely started in a short amount of time, because you might end up burning yourself out, or you might end up raising the bar way too high, so high that it might end up being difficult for you to actually reach it. So be a little bit reasonable when it comes to the expectations that you are placing on yourself this month. Yeah, and not overdo it, right? Doesn't mean that you are incapable of achieving your goals. I feel like you are quite perseverant, quite persistent. That's what I'm sensing with the Bull here, or you will be this month. But this is about being fair with yourself and not demanding the impossible from yourself. If you're someone who takes on commissions, if you are like a freelancer, at some point during the month of January, I do see you being pretty booked, as mentioned before, or receiving more requests, booking or scheduling more appointments with clients, customers than usual. Yeah, and this could all be happening around the same time, which is why I feel like there could be a point within this month of January that you will find yourself pretty busy, because it seems like it's within a window of time that a lot is going to be happening, right? A lot of people will be reaching out to you, or you might find yourself pretty booked, or you could find yourself working on a lot of different projects or finishing a lot of different projects, tasks around the same time, like one after the other possibly. And because I do see you pretty busy with work that is paying, there will definitely be money coming in. Yeah, but I do feel like this month could be an eye-opener for a lot of you guys, because what I see you becoming aware of is how taking on too much, like biting more than you can chew, ends up affecting you. There's something about some of you becoming aware that a certain pace is not sustainable, or that you can't continue going on at the pace that you have been going, or that you can't keep doing things how you've been doing them because they are not sustainable. So this month, a lot of you could be sitting down and really thinking about whether maybe the pace that you are going in is one that you can continue going in for the months to come or for the rest of the year, right? And some of you might be coming to the conclusion that no, it isn't sustainable, and that you're reaching your end, right? You're already spread quite thin, and so things do need to change, or something needs to change. Because the scythe here is making me think of cutting away or cutting back on certain things. So you could be making some cutbacks during this month of January, or you could be planning on how to rearrange your schedule for the coming months so that it will be more sustainable, or so that you won't find yourself maybe rushing at the last minute, or taking on too much, or doing too much within a short amount of time or at once, right? So some of you could be learning how to like disperse things evenly, or this month you could simply be saying no to certain things. You could be dropping things like maybe classes that you don't really need to take, or tasks or responsibilities that you don't really have to take on, that sort of thing. Yeah, to even things out is what is coming through. Because with it's blowing up a storm, there's definitely a strong momentum occurring at some point this month of January. It's like the pace will be picking up at some point, or you will be gaining momentum. And for a lot of you, I feel like it will be in the realms of work, career, profession, or studies. The thing here is that it might not be only at work. For example, if you're employed, that things will get pretty busy, but also in your day-to-day, right? When it comes to your personal life, like errands, there might be a lot of errands that you need to get done. Things might be due, like bills might be due, or you might need to renew contracts, like for insurance or something like that, and so you need to attend to that. So again, if you know there's anything that's like due in the month of January, if like there's things that you have to renew, you have to visit certain offices, you have to send out mail, the advice for you is to not leave it to the last minute. Don't postpone it for a later time. If you can get it done now or as soon as possible, please do so that you can get that out of the way, so that then that won't be an issue or something that will take away time from you at a point where you might actually need that time. Okay, So just keep that in mind for this month of January. With the hand in hand, I do see collaborations, but this hand in hand reminds me of the message that came through at the beginning, which is supportive energy. So you will have a support system or support group, or there will be at least one person in around you who will be very supportive of you. So this person might be providing you with emotional or moral support, and I feel like it will be mutual, right? Because we do have this hand-in-hand energy, which makes me think of reciprocity. So you will be supporting each other and also helping each other out, right? So if you do find yourself pretty busy with a lot to do, I do see there being someone on your side who will be volunteering to take on certain loads or responsibilities or tasks off of your shoulders to ease up your load, right? To help you out. So for example, if you are a student and you need to study for an exam or a quiz, but you also need to wash the dishes, or you haven't done your laundry or something along those lines, like there's a chore or an errand that you need to get done or do, this person will offer to do that for you so that you can get some studying done. So I do see a very loving, supportive, kind individual being there for you or offering their lending hand to you, right? So if a loved one offers to help you out, consider their offer, especially if you need it, because I feel like you will need it at some point. And remember, there's nothing wrong with receiving assistance or help. We all need a lending hand at different points in our life. So allow yourself to be supported, right? Because I am seeing a little bit of a stubborn energy here, maybe someone refusing another's help or someone refusing to be assisted. In other words, someone wanting to do it all on their own in one go. So if you tend to be that way, this month will be about learning to receive help, right? Working with others and learning that it's okay to be supported and that you don't have to do it all on your own and that you don't have to do it all in one go. Okay, it's okay if you take it slow. It's okay if you divide things, if you do things in parts or in moderation. It's okay if you need to take your time at times. The heart made me think of a heart-to-heart conversation. So you will be having a heart-to-heart conversation with a loved one or with another at some point during the month of January. I do see you having an important discussion, conversation, or meeting with an employer, a potential employer, or it could be like with a supervisor, a manager, or maybe a teacher, a professor, or a counselor, school counselor, if that applies. And in this conversation, I do see a lot being expressed or a lot being brought up. So if there has been anything that has been bothering you or concerning you, you will be bringing it up during this conversation. It will be addressed and there will be solutions. Yeah, I do see you reaching some kind of agreement with whoever you're having this conversation with, or with someone who you were butting heads with. Yeah, I see a mutual agreement or things getting resolved, things getting clarified, there being resolution. Yeah, and if there has been any misunderstandings, they will get cleared up within the month of January. Yeah, I see a conversation or a meeting turning out successful or being quite successful. Yeah, and I see two people being quite happy, quite pleased with the end result, maybe of a meeting or a conversation. Yeah, I see two people, or maybe more than two people, being quite happy because they felt understood, they felt listened to, and they felt like they really connected with another. There was that mutual understanding. Yeah, so this may also apply to anyone who maybe you're working with, studying with, collaborating with, or with anyone who you've been wanting to have that kind of heart-to-heart with, or that conversation with. Oh, and I'm also sensing a lot of happiness with the heart because something turned out well. right? So again, it could be a meeting or a conversation or an interview that turned out well. So if you have an interview scheduled for the month of January, know that it will turn out well. I also heard it was a rocky start, but the end was smooth, right? So if there's a rocky start to anything, persevere, keep on going. Don't be discouraged by it. It's okay if you're upset. It's perfectly fine. Feel through your feels. But keep going, because the ending will be worth it, or the results will be worth it, or they will be successful. Right, after you get through this rocky start, things will be quite smooth. There will be a rainbow after the storm. And rainbows indicate joy, happiness, and they also make me think of success. The tree here in the resistance card makes me think of growth. So I do see you experiencing growth, and some of you may be experiencing exponential growth, right? Yeah, I feel like that will be the case for all of you, because we do have this energy of strong momentum and sudden change and transformation, as well as hope. So again, if there was some rocky start within the month of January, maybe at the start of the month, or maybe even at the end of 2025, know that things will get better, or they will vastly improve in the month of January. And they will get even more better in the month of February. There's something about the month of February being pretty significant, or connecting to the month of January. There's something about a friendship bracelet. I don't know if you guys are into making bracelets or like friendship bracelets. Yeah, if you are, you could be gifted a friendship bracelet, or a couple bracelet, or a bracelet, or you could be the one gifting one to a loved one to another at some point during the month of January. Or maybe you could be, making bracelets. Maybe some of you, make jewelry. Or that is a hobby that you might be taking on in the month of January. And they're saying the bracelet or these bracelets will carry really good intentions. Maybe this is about a protection bracelet, like an amulet of sorts. Yeah, if you're thinking about getting one, making one, or someone is making one for you, know that it carries, or it will carry good intentions, or it will work for what it's intended for. That's what is coming through. Yeah, and if you guys have one, like a charm bracelet, or a crystal bracelet, or some kind of jewelry that has some kind of intention on it, or it's meant to protect your energy, something along those lines. If you've been wearing it for a while and you haven't cleansed it, consider cleansing it in the month of January. Maybe during a full moon, or if you end up misplacing it, or it ends up breaking or something like that, that's a sign that its purpose has been served, or that it's time for you maybe to get a new one, or to make a new one, or that a cycle has been broken, that you're no longer under a spell or an incantation. I know that's very strange and bizarre, but if that resonates with you, then that message is for you. If it doesn't resonate at all, then just completely ignore it, because I know that's very specific. But what they want to let you know is that this jewel, this item breaking or falling or something like that, is not a sign of a bad omen. It's actually a good sign, or a good omen. Yeah, maybe some of you guys will benefit from like wearing a grounding crystal, like an obsidian crystal, or tourmaline. I don't know if those are grounding stones. Tiger's eyes is also coming to mind. If you are someone who tends to feel a little ungrounded, or you do end up feeling that way at some point in the month of January, because it might help, right? Especially if you have been considering acquiring such a crystal or wearing it on your person. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to the next method of divination. So here we're going to find out if there's anything else Spirit Universe wants to give you a heads up about. Oh, by the way, if you're wearing headphones or earphones with the volume way up, considering lowering down the volume for this part of the reading, because things might get pretty loud. Okay, so I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 2 crystals fell on the board, one in the money section and the other in the tasks section. Okay, so what about the money department? Do they need to know? So we have the Knight of Cups in the upright with chivalry, hopeless, romantic, and idealistic. And we also have Judgment with self-evaluation, awakening, and forgiveness. Okay, so now it makes sense. With the Resistance card, we have the second house with Taurus, right? So the second house is all about finances, profit and losses, possessions, resources. So with the Knight of Cups and the Judgment card, this month, Spirit wants for you to be very mindful of your spending habits. They're kind of advising you to not overdo it and not get carried away. This month, you might want to hold back on any splurging or on going on any kind of shopping sprees, because you might end up going way over your budget, or you could find yourself regretting some of the purchases that you made. Yeah, with Judgment, it makes me think of like, use your judgment, have awareness of your spending habits. The Knight of Cups can be very idealistic and a little careless or just forgetful of the practical aspect of things. So yeah, if you are someone who doesn't really tend to do a lot of financial management, or you don't really like to check how much you have in your bank account, or you're not fully aware of how much you have in your savings, how much you have in your wallet, yeah, then you're being let known that this month, if not careful, you could end up spending more than you have. Yeah, and you might want to save a little bit this month, even if there's money coming in, right? You still might want to save, or start considering thinking about saving, opening up a savings account, or setting money aside for your savings, right? Because I'm not saying that this will be the case this month, but maybe in the near future, there could be certain sudden expenses that you will need to take care of, and having that money to pay for those expenses will be a win, because you will need to worry about acquiring the money, or be worrying about how to pay for those expenses and so forth. And I feel like some of you guys are also kind of being let known that maybe now is a good time to start thinking about, saving up, and maybe looking into financial management, being more conscientious about your spending habits, and how you utilize your money, where your money goes. Yeah, because this month, some of you could be realizing that you are paying for certain subscriptions that you totally forgot about, or that you could pay less. You could pay less for something. Yeah, so maybe look into where your money is going, so that then you can start considering whether you want to continue investing your money in those things, or whether there is economical alternatives, right? Or whether you can get a discount, maybe, because I feel like that could be the case for a lot of you, or you might end up finding that there is a more affordable alternative, or that you can get some kind of discount. So look into financial management this month, or that is the advice, especially if money is coming in, or if you haven't done that in a while. And if you're going shopping, consider taking someone who has like good judgment when it comes to like spending, or who uses their critical thinking when it comes to purchases, because maybe then they can help you out with determining what is a good purchase, or they can help you get discounts, or they can help you with keeping accountable, right? Or maybe with resisting going overboard. Yeah, and if there is someone who you maybe share a bank account, or who you lend money to, maybe you lend your credit card to, who doesn't have really good judgment when it comes to like their spending habits, you might want to keep an eye out for them, especially when they go out shopping. during this month, because yeah, I do see someone possibly overdoing it, spending way more than is available or that was stipulated. If somebody comes in offering you to invest in their business or in a business idea of theirs, don't immediately say yes. Really think through it and consider going to a financial advisor or someone who is very business savvy to talk to them about this offer and get their input, get their advice on it. Because I feel like this month it's probably not a good time to immediately jump into like big purchases or big investments, that sort of thing. It doesn't mean that you can't, it's just if you are considering doing so, you're being advised to do so after much consideration, after having done your research, gotten second opinions, weighed out your pros and cons, weighed out your options, and really thought it through. There's something here about not being blindly guided or making a very important decision based on solely someone's word or promise. If you're making any deals, make sure that it's on paper, that it's signed, that it's legitimate, legal. If you're paying for something up front, make sure to get a receipt, proof of your payment, of your purchase. Have tangible proof of any deals that you're making, anything that you're agreeing to, anything that you're paying for. It's super, super important. Yeah, there's something here about not relying solely on word of mouth or on someone's promise. Have the tangible proof. But now moving on to tasks. We have the 3 of coins in the upright with collaboration, focus, efforts, and common goals. Yeah, so as mentioned previously with the hand-in-hand card, I do see you working, collaborating with another, as well as you receiving support from a loved one or loved ones. It could even be from a community, or even colleagues, classmates. Yeah, because this little crystal fell right on task, so it makes me think of the example I gave previously. Someone needing to study for an exam and a loved one offers to help them out by completing other tasks that student needed to get done, so that then they won't have to worry about those tasks and only focus on their studies, right? So if someone offers to lend you a hand, please consider accepting that lending hand. This is support being freely given. This is support coming from the heart. We literally have the heart in your spread. And I do see this being a mutual energy. So if you're someone who also likes to be there for others, know that there will be an opportunity for you to also help your loved ones out and be there for them. Because this gives me this feeling of having each other's backs. Oh, and because I did mention that you might be bumping heads with someone who you will be working with the 3 of coins having fallen out in the upright, this lets me know that although there could be a rocky start, as mentioned previously, things are going to smooth out eventually between you and whoever you were bumping heads with. Right, so you will end up working together or finding a way to work together, like a common ground is what is coming through. And so whatever it is that you need to complete, get done, you will be doing so successfully. Right, and this might even be a situation where you start off maybe disliking each other or just not getting each other, not vibing with the other. And then at the end of the task, of the assignment, of the course or whatever it may be, you end up really liking each other and kind of maybe feeling a little sad about now needing to go your separate ways, or sad about the fact that, the project has ended or something along those lines. Because something else that I'm seeing is you will be learning a lot from another person or through working with another. Yeah, so something else that is coming through is be open to not only receiving assistance and support, but also receiving advice and knowledge, wisdom from another, seeing from another's point of view, understanding another person's approach, because you will or you could be learning a lot through doing that. Yeah, and actually someone who you tend to bump heads with, or who you are bumping heads with at the start, might end up helping you with something that you were struggling with, right? They might be offering you an alternative approach that will make something more accessible to you, or more easier for you to understand, or maybe more fun or efficient. And I definitely do see you studying with another. So whether you are students or you're not, you will have a study buddy at some point or during the month of January. If you aren't students, you could be self-studying with another, alongside another. Or maybe someone who is quite knowledgeable in a field or in an area could be teaching you what they know. You could be learning from them. And this could be on your own time, after work or something along those lines. And I definitely do see you learning quite a bit. And this also makes me think of what I mentioned before, you continuing your practice, or you continuing to practice, you continuing to learn in the month of January. So yeah, you're definitely making progress this month. You're learning, you're developing a skill, you're acquiring more knowledge. You could also be the one teaching or helping another out make progress. Yay! So now I'm just going to draw out a card. If you would like to ask a question, you can. As I'm shuffling the deck, and hopefully the message on the card will offer you a direct answer, but if you would like to get guidance or advice on a specific situation, then you can think of that situation. Keep it in mind as I'm shuffling the deck, and whatever message is on the card that ends up falling out will be the advice and or guidance meant for you guys. Okay, so I'll start shuffling the deck now. Okay, and the card that fell out is Crab, with consider the unconventional and take a sideways approach. So the crab makes me think of the zodiac sign Cancer. So somebody could be a Cancer sun, moon, or rising sign, or someone who has the sign in their sun, moon, or rising could be of significance, or Cancer season in and of itself could be an important time for you guys. But now I want to read the guidebook message associated with this card. So we have Crab, consider the unconventional, take a sideways approach, with the bodies of crabs have adapted to move sideways as opposed to forward and backward. Therefore, when the crab card comes up, it prompts you to be open-minded and consider an alternative route to achieving your goal. It could also mean that the pathway towards your goal is not as straightforward as what you previously thought. If you find yourself challenged with obstacles and setbacks, use your creativity to work around the situation. Your original plan was not working, so it's time to rethink a new strategy. Stay flexible and be open-minded, because life very rarely goes according to plan. Yeah, so as mentioned, things might be changing quite a bit during this month, and you're being advised to kind of not resist these changes, because if you do, then you might end up having a more difficult time than if you were just to work around or work with these changes. And this month you could also be experiencing maybe some shifts here and there to give you an opportunity to look for alternatives, right? To see things from a different perspective. And I feel like this it's blowing up a storm card is meant to symbolize the transformation that can come from taking on opportunities that might not always be familiar, look familiar, or kind of be in your comfort zone. Okay, so this month there will be no blockages. So if something isn't working out, if something gets postponed, you're not being blocked. You're being given an opportunity to find alternatives, to come up with a better strategy, or that could be your sign or indicator that a plan or a strategy needs improvements and needs rethinking, maybe revamping. This month is providing you with opportunities for growth and breakthroughs. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Anything else I want to point out? Let's see. Bulls, the sign Taurus, Cancer, and Pisces could be of significance. Some of you could have been born in the year of the ox or the year of the dragon, or someone who was born in the year of the ox, the year of the dragon could be playing significant roles in your life during this month of January. Also, the month of February seems to be of significance. Maybe you were born on this month. The 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 24th of January could be significant dates. The number 5 and 2, also 25 is coming through, could be of significance as well. Maybe the 25th of January could be a significant date. I'm also getting Sagittarius, the zodiac sign Sagittarius being of significance. I apologize for repeating this, but I feel like this month you are being encouraged to look into your finances or just get familiarized with your financial or money habits and look into opening a savings or learn how to properly invest. Because with the 10 of diamonds and the 9 of diamonds, I feel like things are picking up for you in the money department. Or there will be an opening or opportunity, maybe within this month of January or very soon, maybe in the month of February, for you to make more money or for you to create something that is profitable. So getting educated on like business, finances, economics could be a wise or good idea, or in investing on learning more about these subjects, topics, or just learning more about how to handle money. Maybe how to handle a business, profit, something along those lines will be a really good investment. One that will give back to you, not only now, but also in the long run. So just look into that or consider that. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought you some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is on my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them run in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much, and I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of January, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 2, bienvenidos to your reading. So the message "we work in tangent" came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group, and this made me think of working amiably with another. So this month you may be collaborating with one or more people, or whoever you will end up working with, studying with, or spending a lot of time with possibly, will be someone who you will align with from the very start, from the very beginning, or eventually. It may also be the case that this month you will find yourself making progress at the same pace as that of another, or moving or growing in parallel with another. So you may be achieving a milestone at the same time as that of another, maybe someone who you look up to, or someone who you are in school with, someone who you work with, or it could be a friend, a family member, a loved one, or you will simply be making the same amount of progress. Yeah, something along those lines. But yeah, I'll reveal the card that you were drawn to. And we have humor is the highest form of intelligence. And this was said by the character Lamp, who is a character from the animated series Adventure Time, which is what this deck contains quotes from. Oh, so you are being given a heads up that this month you will be spending a lot of time with, interacting with, or meeting someone who has your sense of humor or understands your humor. But I'm also sensing that it is humor, it is laughter that is going to help you overcome challenges, or it is what will turn what could have been a challenge into simply a fun experience or adventure. Okay? But now let me draw out the first set of cards, which will give us an overview of the month as well as a look at the main themes or lessons of this month. Okay. By the way, the word lamp really stood out to me. So some of you could be acquiring, purchasing, or be gifted a new lamp. Or maybe new furniture. Or an appliance. But for your first card, we have the 10th house with, yes, Mars in Capricorn and the key term authority. Okay. And I'm going to draw out the rest of the cards. Okay. And the card that flipped over is Get Weird with Experiment, Creativity, the number 79, and the message, your weird side needs to be brought to the surface. Get creative with yourself. Experiment with creation, sexual activities. Try something new you've never tried. Leave your comfort zone and laugh at yourself in the process. Okay. Your other card. We have number 6 with Bless Your Heart and the key terms friendship, appreciation, devotion, worthiness, caring, and playful teasing. Okay. Last card in this set. We have the Queen of Diamonds with number 12, Children. The zodiac sign Capricorn, or just earth signs in general, which will be Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, could be of significance. And any earth placements in the 10th house could also be of significance. They could be serving as confirmation for some of you. But I just heard in my mind, this month you will have authority over your schedule. Some of you may have a more flexible schedule or more flexible work hours this month. This could also be about you having more authority or more say on what you get to work on, who you get to work with, what you take on, the responsibilities, the kind of tasks, right? And for some, this authority may come after maybe a promotion or after a change in roles, in position, or after some kind of title change. But I also feel like you are being advised to have a little bit more authority, more say in what you do, what you spend your time in, what you take on, by getting experimental, by changing the things that you would actually like to change instead of just keeping them as they are. Because the situation that I'm picking up here as an example is that of someone who is sticking to the status quo, not because they wanted to, but maybe because they felt or they thought they needed to. And they never really questioned whether they could unfollow, move away from the status quo. Right? So if that resonates with you, if you come to realize you have been doing something that you can do differently, then you're being advised to see if there is something about this that you would like to change or do differently, or if there are some things in your life that you kind of have been going along with because you thought you had to, that now you would have no problem unfollowing. To in a way take, maybe control is not the adequate word here, but let's say have authority over your life or these areas of life once more. An example that is coming to mind is of someone who has their own place now to live in, and for years they've been decorating their place, not in their style, not how they would want to, but how maybe their parents would, right? Because they grew up kind of following or listening to what their parents suggested. And then in the month of January, all of a sudden they realize, or it sinks in for them that, hey, but this is my space, right? I don't live with my parents anymore, or they don't really have authority over this space because it's my space. It's my house. It's my apartment. And so I have authority over this space and how I decorate it, which means I can decorate it however it is that I want. I don't really have to follow any rules or anybody else's rules. I can make my own rules. I can do what I want with this space as long as I feel safe with it and I like it. I can get experimental. So that's just an example, right, of how this can play out here. It's as if Spirit is saying, hey, have authority, get ownership back by making your own decisions, by doing something differently if that is what you want, or making changes. And the word authority is also making me think of assertion, right? So you are also being advised to be more assertive when it comes to your decision, right? Like, for example, if you choose what color you want to paint your bedroom walls, then believe in your choice. Feel confident about your choice. So maybe this month, a lot of you are learning and are practicing how to be more confident, more assertive in your decisions, in the choices that you make, your actions. Others of you might be learning to make decisions on your own. Yeah, so you may be experimenting quite a bit this month, and through that, becoming a little bit more self-assured or more comfortable in making decisions on your own without always consulting with another, or maybe asking of another's approval or asking for another's permission. Because there's something here about not always needing permission or feeling like you need permission in order to decide upon something or make a decision or choose something. And so this also makes me think of, building your identity, or just learning more about you, getting more familiarized with yourself. So this month you may be experimenting, trying new things, doing things that are, let's say, out of character, or what others believe to be out of character, in order to get to know yourself more or better, right? So again, the example of like decorating a space is coming to mind. Right? Someone might be trying different colors, different patterns, different layouts that at first might look a little weird, but it's all with the purpose of understanding what is to their liking. So this month it's about trying it out first to then know and understand whether it's for you or not, whether you like it or not, instead of immediately assuming that you won't like it or that it's not for you. Because I'm also seeing a situation where someone grew up surrounded by the color pink. And so because they grew up surrounded by the color pink, they ended up assuming or believing that pink was their favorite color. And they just went along with it. But then now they're kind of questioning, hey, wait a minute, is pink my favorite color? Or did I just assume that because there was a lot of pink around me growing up? Okay, so to figure that out, I'm going to start observing more closely different colors and seeing how I feel about them. Maybe I'm going to start wearing different colors or surrounding myself with different colors just to see whether there is another color that I truly like, or if I even like the color pink, right? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here and for this month. Yeah, so your preferences might change this month, or what came through is you could be going through a lot of phases within the month of January. And it is because you are going through an experimental time. It is because you are allowing yourself to try different things. You are allowing yourself to try different cuisines and sauces just to see what really suits your taste buds. But what else that I'm picking up here is if you are employed, if you are under the supervision of a manager or a higher up, this higher up or authority figure might be the one trying new things as well. I just heard mixed signals and signs, and so at some point you could feel like they're giving you mixed signals and signs because they're constantly changing their minds or because they are constantly wanting to try new or different things, right? I don't know how you might feel about this. I'm getting like different responses here. Some of you might find it quite endearing. Others of you might find this quite frustrating because it's like your boss cannot decide upon one thing, or their need or want to try new things is maybe creating a lot of shifts and changes at work, or it's kind of destabilizing your routine at work. But I feel like regardless of what the response might be, overall this is not a bad thing, because this impulse to try new things, to experiment, let's say, is meant to bring in positive changes and or developments in the workplace as a whole, in general. Yeah, so I don't know if the start of the year, the start of a new year is influencing this behavior. It sort of feels like it. This also makes me think of maybe someone trying new or different things because it is necessary, right? Because maybe upgrades or updates are needed, or because a old system wasn't entirely working, or because there needed to be better management. I am thinking of an inspection. So maybe someone or something here is going through an inspection at some point in the month of January. And it is because of this inspection that all of these changes are being made, or it is for this inspection that all of these changes are being made, or there is all this experimentation. But yeah, that's just something that you're being given a heads up about, because a lot of things could end up changing at work, even at school. Because for those of you who are students, I am seeing a situation where maybe a school system is changing, or like rules, regulations could be changing. Or for those of you who are students, you could be getting a teacher, a professor, whose teaching method is very, very different from the method of previous teachers and or professors that you have had. Yeah, and this could end up throwing some of you a little bit off guard if you are someone who likes very traditional ways of teaching, or you're very used to that, because I feel like this teacher, professor, or tutor, whoever it may be, could come in with a very alternative approach. I'm picking up on someone who is very animated, or who likes to engage their students, or who is very caring of their students, has genuine concern for the education of their students, their apprentices. So yeah, you could be having a whole new experience with an authority figure in the month of January. And I feel like this experience is going to be quite positive, because all these other cards here feel very, very positive. The Queen of Diamonds always reminds me of the Queen of Pentacles in traditional tarot, which is a card that speaks of someone who is very nurturing, caring, can also be generous at times. And although they're very practical, they can be at times quite creative, because the Queen of Pentacles makes me think of beauty, or someone who admires beauty and detail. So I do see you interacting with an authority figure, or with maybe like a teacher, a professor, a counselor who will have a very unique approach that will be inclusive, or will feel inclusive, as well as caring and attentive, but always professional. So this month you could be building a really solid and good relationship with an authority figure. It could be with a boss, a manager, a supervisor, a mentor, a counselor, where you're getting a lot of advice from them, a lot of guidance from them, and you could also be receiving some kind of assistance or support from them. Because I do see someone being very supportive, like an authority figure being very supportive of you, or someone who maybe you look up to, someone who you are learning from, being very supportive of you, making sure that you are being attended to, or that you are receiving the help or the assistance that you need to thrive, to learn, to succeed, or to move on to the next level. Yeah, and if you have a boss, a manager, a supervisor who is kind of serious or strict, who likes to stick to tradition and norm, you might be noticing some changes in them this month, because like I said, they will be getting quite experimental, right? They will be and creative. In other words, they won't be sticking to traditions. They might be moving away from them a bit. And the word quirky keeps coming to mind. So some of you could even end up seeing the quirky side of maybe an authority figure, or of someone who is usually very serious, very put together in this month of January. And I do see a friendship developing, right? So it could be with someone of authority, but it could also be with someone who you look up to, or maybe someone who you tend to place on some kind of pedestal, or you see above you. If there is someone that you see as being above you, or that you tend to kind of, in a way, place on a pedestal, I feel like this month you're taking this person down from this pedestal, not because you're disappointed in them or they're disappointing you in some kind of way, but rather because you're realizing that setting them on a pedestal isn't healthy. And it also maybe makes it difficult for you to connect with this person. Or it could be because you're coming to realize this month that this person, although maybe they have achieved so much, or they are very respectable, they're still just a human being. They're still just a person, right? Yeah, they might wear a crown, let's say, a symbolic crown, but they don't see themselves as being above everybody else. They're quite humble. They're level-headed. They have their feet firmly planted on the ground. And so you might realize that they themselves don't like to be placed on any kind of pedestal, and that's why you might be naturally taking them off of this pedestal and acknowledging them as the human being that they are. Amazing and all, but still just a human being, a person like you and I. And with appreciation and worthiness, this month you are also learning to appreciate yourself, your good qualities, even your bad qualities, because you might be seeing how those bad qualities led to some good changes in your life, perhaps, or they taught you valuable lessons, and you are learning to appreciate your own accomplishments, your own achievements, not belittle them, not undermine them. Yeah, you're definitely building confidence throughout this month of January. You're also creating a safe space for yourself to make decisions of your own and to trust in yourself more and more. If you do not have children, at some point during this month, you may find yourself caring for or supervising, looking after a child or more. If it's not children, it could be like someone's animal companion. You could be doggy sitting, cat sitting, if not babysitting. But I do see you spending time with children or with someone who is way younger than you. So this could be like your nieces, your nephews, little cousins, or siblings. Yeah, and I see you getting along with them. You might be wanting to assert your authority over them at some point. You know, like, hey, I'm the big brother here, I'm the big sister, or I'm the eldest cousin. I'm the one in charge here. But you might be trying to, because I see it being pretty difficult, maybe because you are not someone who usually asserts your authority, or you don't really like, taking on that role of an authority figure or a leader or something along those lines. And so although you might be wanting to appear as this authoritative figure, you might be finding it a little difficult to do so, to play that role or to give off that authority vibe. But also, I feel like whoever is under your supervision or your care, although they will listen to you, they might still poke fun at you, not because they don't take you seriously, but because they see that, at the core you are this softie, or that you don't mean harm, right? Like, you're a safe person, right? So, like, although you might appear or try to appear strict, it might not be so believable because you don't give strict vibes. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I see you maybe kind of fumbling a bit or struggling a bit to be the authority figure, or maybe be strict when you need to be. But at the end of the day, I see whoever is under your care having a blast with you, or just feeling utterly safe with you and in your presence. Yeah, but there could be a lot of playful teasing from those who you are looking after, not because they dislike you, on the contrary, because they like you. And again, I see this as being playful teasing. It's very innocent. But let's see. This month you will also be receiving one or more gifts of appreciation from others. One or more of these gifts could be handmade. Some of you could be receiving handwritten letters, or maybe an artwork. If you are parents, I see your child gifting you something that they made, they created, maybe at school, maybe on their own time. Yeah, and they will be very, very excited to gift this to you. Yeah, this might end up being something that you hang up on a wall, maybe stick on the fridge, or keep on your bedside. If you have children, know that your children love you and adore you. They do, and you will be feeling that love in the month of January. And I heard in my mind the gentle giant. So someone could be seen as the gentle giant, or someone could be giving off gentle giant vibes. Like someone who looks very strict and stoic on the surface, but on the inside, they're a softie, they're gentle. Okay, but that's all that is coming through so far. So now I'm going to move on to the next method of divination to find out what more does Spirit want to talk to you about, or let you know more about. So, oh, by the way, if you're wearing headphones or earphones with the volume way up, I do recommend for you to lower down the volume to protect your eardrums, because this part of the reading might get pretty loud and noisy. Okay, so I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it seems like there are messages about money that we need to address. So what about money does Spirit want to talk to you about, or let you know about? And we have the moon in the upright with intuition, dreams, and illusion. Let me pull out a clarifier. Can I have more info about this, please? Can you clarify the moon? We have the Five of Cups in the upright with focus on loss of welcome changes and trauma. If there is some uncertainty about your financial situation, this uncertainty will be temporary, or it will come to an end very, very soon. Oh, okay. Because I did speak about there being changes at work, if you do experience these changes, be very careful with immediately assuming that it means something negative for you, right? Because I do see this worrying about things not working out for you, or changes meaning something bad for you. Worry about losing your job, for example, in your position at work, or maybe at school. Don't let these assumptions get the best of you, because they're just assumptions. Let me confirm if this is the case or not. Let me pull out a card. Yeah, we have temperance with balance and harmony and perspective. Yeah, I feel like you're being advised to not get caught up in fantasies or get spooked by assumptions. Instead, look at the situation that you're going through, the changes that you are seeing from a more practical perspective, and do not immediately go towards the negative. Not immediately assume the worst. I feel like that's what the Temperance card is here to advise. Do not immediately assume the worst. And the reason why this fell on money is because this also applies in terms of like a school situation, school setting. So, if things are changing in a school system, or school board is changing certain regulations and stuff like that, maybe the prerequisites or the requirements to be eligible for financial aid could be changing. Right? And all of these changes could end up with some of you questioning whether they are going to negatively affect you or not. But what you're being let known is that things will be working out for you at the end. Things will end up balancing out, right? So let's say if something doesn't work out, then something else will. If you don't get financial aid through one program, that doesn't mean that you won't be getting financial aid. You will be, but it will be through a different program, or through a different means, through a different way, but you will be receiving it. You will be helped out. Things will work out in the money department. Yeah, so there could be a time of uncertainty, and what you're being advised is to hold on. Don't immediately jump to conclusions through this time of uncertainty, because all this will get cleared up eventually, and by the end of it, you will find yourself quite relieved, right? Maybe relieved that the worst that you thought would come to pass didn't come to pass at all, or that maybe you weren't affected by certain changes or negatively affected by them, or that your imaginings of the worst case scenarios were just that, imaginings. So I do feel like you are being advised to kind of hold on, or hold off from making any rash decisions through a period of uncertainty, or more like trust the process. Trust that things will make sense once more and continue moving forward, even if things aren't exactly clear, because things will become settled after this period of changes or shifts. Because if it is you making changes, or maybe you starting something new, starting something of your own, like a business or a side business, these changes could be causing some kind of disruption, or maybe that's what you fear, that they won't work out. But with the Temperance card, you're being let know that things will end up working out. Maybe this is something that will require some time, because if you are making adjustments or changes, let's say, it might require a little bit of time for things to level out, to get situated after you have made these changes. In other words, there may be an adjustment period of sorts, and it is during this adjustment period that there might be a bit of uncertainty. Like, are things going to work out? Are things going to level out? Am I going to break even? For those of you who are starting a business, and I believe the answer is yes. Yes, but it will be after some time. So I feel like you're being advised to give it some time. And I know that's easier said than done, because I know every person is going through something different, and money is a necessity, unfortunately. So if you're not seeing money coming in right away from like a new endeavor, if you can, maybe consider other like options, alternatives to make money for the meanwhile, or maybe start working on a financial safety net of sorts. Start saving up money that you can rely upon while you get a business started, if that is your case. But I do see things leveling out at some point. It could be by the end of January, but I can't say that with 100% certainty. Yeah, so if you feel in your heart of hearts or in your gut that something is going to work out, or you oftenly hear in the back of your mind this little reassuring voice telling you it's all going to be all right, it's all going to work out, or this which you are worrying about is in actuality nothing to worry about, then pay attention to that little reassuring voice. Pay attention and trust in those gut feelings and your intuition. So I just want to pull out one more card to find out how this situation here is going to end. We have the Four of Coins with materialism, hoarding, and security. And whenever I look at the Four of Coins illustration, I always sense or pick up on relief. So I am sensing relief, and seeing that this person is holding on to these objects, it makes me think of you holding on to a job, or you being able to hold on to a job, not losing a job, or maybe obtaining a job if that's what you're looking for. How I interpret the Four of Coins in this situation is someone feeling and being very relieved that they kept or didn't lose what they thought they were going to lose, or they feared losing. Yeah, and then we do have security here, and coins often are associated with like wealth, money. So I do see financial security, or you securing money, you securing profit, or getting a return of your investment. So yeah, I feel like things will work out for you guys. If you're afraid of losing something, or getting kicked out, or not having the money to pay off something, or not being eligible for future financial aid or assistance, you're being let know not to worry, because you will have the money, you will be eligible, or you will be receiving the financial aid or assistance that you need to proceed with something or to continue on. Okay? So yeah, I am sensing a little bit of uncertainty here, but again, you're being kind of given a heads up to not let this uncertainty get the best of you or get to your head. And for those of you who this will apply, give it time. Give it time to level out. Give it time to simmer, or just to balance out, right? And then you will experience stability once more. You will start experiencing stability, financial stability. Or there will be better financial management is also what is coming through. Also, if someone owes you money, whoever it may be, don't just wait for them to pay you, especially if they're kind of overdue. Let them know, remind them. Like, hey, this is what you owe me. I haven't forgotten. Because if they haven't paid you and it's been a while, it's not that they forgotten. I don't think so. Maybe they have, but they could just be letting time pass by because you haven't mentioned it or you haven't brought it up. It's like, well, they haven't said anything, so I think that it's okay if I take a little while longer to pay them back. Yeah, but if it's not okay, then bring it up, mention it. But let me now pull out an oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. Oh, by the way, if you have a question, you can ask it as I'm shuffling the deck, and hopefully the message on the card will provide you with a direct answer. Or if you have a situation you would like guidance, advice on, you can think of it and set the intention to receive this guidance as I'm shuffling the deck, and whatever card falls out, the message on it will be the advice and or guidance meant for you. Okay, so I will start shuffling now. Oh, that was fast. And 3 cards fell out together. So I wonder if you had 3 questions or 3 situations in mind, but the first card is Spyglass with Zoom In, Take a Closer Look. We also have Flamingo with Find Balance, Practice Moderation. And we have Seahorse with Be Confident and Assertive, Divine Masculine. Yeah, definitely feel like this month it's about being assertive, building your confidence, being more sure of yourself. Also, maybe it's a time where you will be given the opportunity to speak up for yourself, advocate for you. But I do want to read the guidebook messages associated with each card. So for Spyglass, we have Zoom In, Take a Closer Look. Spyglass is a small handheld telescope that you may recognize from numerous pirate films. Somewhere along the way, you have overlooked a crucial piece of information. Do you feel like something's off or something's missing? Maybe things just aren't adding up. The universe wants you to look through your spyglass, figuratively speaking, so that you can identify what's been lost. Deconstruct the situation, retrace your steps, and examine each detail. Not to worry, you will find clarity soon. Yeah, as mentioned, you will be finding clarity soon. And you are being advised to trust in your gut feelings and differentiate between what is a gut feeling and what is anxious thinking. And if something isn't working out, and I do feel that this month you will be trying new things, you will be experimenting, because you will be realizing that something you've been doing and are repeating hasn't been working out for you. So you could be retracing your steps, remapping, revamping, rearranging, readjusting a plan or a strategy to get better results. And they're saying either the issue or what needs to be addressed, what needs to be fixed is not that obscure or difficult to find. It's very obvious, or it's very easy to address. It will be maybe an easy fix or just something that needs a few adjustments. But Spyglass is also making me think of you zooming in on yourself, you observing yourself, and also observing your surroundings to better understand what is to your liking and what is not. So you might find yourself being more observant throughout this month of January. And so trust in your observations. Trust in what you see, trust in what you feel, and don't let fear get the best of you. But now I'm going to read the message for Flamingo. Flamingos. We have Find Balance, Practice Moderation, and the message: the universe has sent you the Flamingo spirit to teach you the art of harmony and balance. Balance is not something that you achieve, it is something that you strive to achieve. The ability to balance is a lifelong practice that is never quite complete. From now until the day you die, you will spend every moment balancing your time and energy. When you improve your ability to balance, you improve your quality of life. On the other hand, when you fail to balance, you impair your quality of life. Take disease or dis-ease, for example, a lack of harmony and equilibrium within the body. Try to avoid extremes and take everything in moderation. Yeah, and it's interesting how this card came out, and also the Temperance card, which is all about balance and harmony. But now I'm going to read Seahorse. Be confident and assertive, divine masculine. Unlike most sea creatures, it's the male seahorse that carries the young. Because of this, the seahorse emulates divine masculine energy. The divine masculine is associated with confidence, action, firmness, loyalty, strength, stability, logic, reasoning, rationality, and assertiveness. The seahorse is asking you to apply more masculine energy to the situation at hand. Now is not the time to be passive or doubt your abilities. You know what you have to do, so go and do it. Okay, so these are the messages for you guys. Some things I want to point out. Seahorses, flamingos, spyglasses, telescopes could be of importance, as well as balloons, heart-shaped balloons in specific, and the color pink, because I'm seeing a lot of pink in your spread. And I knew we're drawn to the pink index card. So yeah, the color pink could be of significance. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought you some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. So the message waking up came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group, and after this message came to mind, I immediately started hearing in my head the song Wake Me Up Before You Go Go by Wham. And the funny thing is, right after I heard the song in my mind, I heard the message, hear that song. So the song Wake Me Up Before You Go Go by Wham could be of significance. And if you haven't heard this song recently or never, I feel you are being advised to go and take a listen to it. Maybe read through the lyrics if you feel called to do so, right? Because there might be a message in the lyrics in the song meant for you to hear at this moment, or this song could serve as a little pick-me-up because it is quite catchy and also fun to listen to and dance to. So yeah, maybe your guides, if you believe in spirit guides, are saying anytime you need a pick-me-up, listen to that song, or listen to that song that you know gets you all hyped up, gets you dancing, or helps you release, helps you unwind. Yeah, so music could definitely be very important for you guys, or it will be very important throughout or at some point in the month of January. Also, the word collaboration came to mind. And it came to mind when I noticed my awareness begin centering around my stomach area or gut area, which makes me think of the solar plexus chakra, which is the energy center that has to do with confidence, self-esteem, and masculine energy, action. And right now I felt a calmness. So maybe this month collaborating, working with others, or maybe with one person in specific who you will have an opportunity to work and or collaborate with, maybe study with this month, will be very grounding for you, or it will be great for your confidence. It will give you a boost of confidence, or maybe collaborating with another will help ground an idea of yours, make a dream of yours a reality. So yeah, maybe look into whether working with another is the maybe missing ingredient for you to make a dream of yours a reality, achieve a goal, or bring to life an idea of yours. It could also be that working with another, bouncing ideas off of another, will help give birth to an idea, maybe a new project, a new endeavor, something along those lines. Okay, but now I want to reveal the message on the card that you were drawn to, and actually it's cards, because for you guys, 2 of these fell out together, and These are part of a homemade deck that contain quotes from the animated series Adventure Time. There's also, I'm sorry for interrupting the reading or message, but there's something about communication. You are either excelling at communications this month of January, or your communication skills are improving, or you will be developing them. If you have a presentation coming up this month, or you're giving some kind of speech, or you have an interview scheduled, know that everything is going to turn out just fine. You're going to nail it. If you're worried about whether or not you will be able to deliver the message or be able to communicate fluently or with ease and articulate your thoughts, you will. The words will just flow out of your mouth almost seamlessly, okay? But the first message is sucking at something is the first step to being sort of good at something. And this was said by the main character, Finn. And we also have, I'm afraid people would judge me the way I judge them. And I believe this was said by the character Ice King. So with the sucking at something as the first step to being sort of good at something, yeah, it seems like this month you are seeing progress or making progress with something that you maybe felt weren't really good at in the past, or you struggled a lot with. For a lot of you, it could be communication, or it could be a language if you have been learning a foreign language. Yeah, you are seeing development progress, or you are seeing that you can, speak the language, do the thing, and or get better. Yeah, you're realizing this month that you're getting sort of good at something, which is making you guys very proud, or that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up on, or it's giving you a boost of confidence, as well as the encouragement to keep on going, to continue on with this, continue developing your skills, or keep practicing. Yeah, I'm picking up on this energy or vibe of let's keep going, we got this, we can do this, let's go. So that might be the energy you will be in or experiencing at some point in the month of January or throughout. It just gives me a bit of a go-getter vibe, but I'm just mostly sensing you being pretty pumped up by your own growth, abilities, capabilities, etc. and or breakthroughs. But with the message, I'm afraid people would judge me the way I judge them. This could be pertaining to some insecurity or fear of being perceived or of disappointing, being judged, that you are addressing at some point this month. I think some of you are realizing that your outer world oftentimes reflects your inner world. And so what you practice on your day-to-day is what you spot in the world more easily or quickly, or is what you maybe expect from the world, right? So our thoughts often shape our reality. And it's not that your thoughts immediately manifest into the 3D, but rather it's our thoughts shape how we perceive our world around us. For example, if person A is very used to gossip, right? If that is what they often practice, or if that's what the people who are often around them practice, then when they go out and about and they see two people whispering, they might immediately assume that they're gossiping about them, that they're saying something about them, when that might not necessarily be the case. It could be, but it could also be that they're not gossiping about anyone at all. Maybe they're just asking for the time or something along those lines, right? And the reason why this person immediately assumed that they were gossiping because they were whispering is because that's what they see, or maybe that's what they do themselves. And that's kind of what they expect in others or assume others to be doing, right? So it's the first thing that came to their mind. So this month you could be coming to understand if there is any correlation between your perceptions of the world, of what will happen, of what others will do, of how they will respond to you, and what you practice in your day-to-day, what you see in your inner circle perhaps, or what you grew up seeing, or what you were taught, maybe certain beliefs, right? You could also be looking into whether there is a correlation between how you perceive yourself and what you assume others' perception of you will be. Yes, but this month you could also be releasing a fear of being judged, possibly being perceived. I personally believe we kind of release fears of being judged and being perceived once we accept that, yeah, some people will judge and people will perceive us in their own unique ways. And no matter what we do, whether we hide, whether we show up, whether we behave in a certain way or not, it's going to happen. So we can, embrace that and maybe accept any fears that we do have about how other people see us without letting it stop us from living our life and just going out there and being ourselves. Because heck, nobody is perfect. Not in the way that society usually defines perfection. Okay, but let us now move on to the first set of cards that will give us information about what the lessons and our themes of this month will be, and will also give us an overview of January. Let me put these back here. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, so two cards fell out, and we have the 10th house with Jupiter in Capricorn, the key term control. Interesting, because it makes me think of how we cannot control how others perceive us and how others think and respond to us. What we can only manage is how we respond to others, how we respond to the world. And then we have the 3rd house with Mercury in Gemini. The key term is excitement. Interesting, because in both of these cards we have a white hair bearded man. I wonder if the figure in both of these cards is meant to be Zeus. Let me look that up in the guidebook. No, Zeus is only depicted in the control card. Okay, so a white bearded man could be of significance. It makes me think of the wise one, the mentor. And the picture in the excitement card reminds me of Gandalf. But of course, I also have to mention Dumbledore. So these characters could be of significance, or the Lord of the Rings, the Harry Potter series could be of significance. But with Mercury in Gemini, you will be receiving exciting news, or you will be the one delivering exciting news in the month of January. Also, because I did mention a mentor, if you have been seeking a mentor, this mentor might be coming in this month of January, and that could be the exciting news, right? I'm being reminded of the idiom or expression, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Yeah, so if you see yourself as the student who is seeking their teacher, it seems that you are ready to receive the wisdom or ready to learn. It could also be that this month you are taking a class, a course. You are literally learning from a teacher, a professor, or someone who is already quite good at or has mastered a craft that you are now coming to learn. And if you are planning to begin learning something new, or if you have not so long ago begun learning something new, started practicing a skill, a craft, and you haven't given up on this, right? You are still very much committed to this. Even if at times you feel a little bit discouraged by maybe your progress, you're being let know that this is something you can become really good at, to the point where you will be able to, if you wanted to, teach others, right? Pass on your knowledge. And for the other card, we have number 33 with pot calling the kettle black. And the key phrases: hypocrisy, projection, similarity, blame, introspection needed. It's interesting how we have projection because it kind of goes with the message. I'm afraid people would judge me the way I judge them. Yeah, so I feel like this month you're kind of looking into how your outer world reflects your inner world, right? And there could also be a lot of mirroring going on this month where you are crossing paths with individuals who are reflecting back to you tendencies, behaviors that you yourself have. And it seems like you looking at these tendencies and behaviors as an outsider, seeing them in someone else, is giving you a new perspective on them. I've experienced this recently, actually, and it's very eye-opening and it's very humbling because the tendencies and behaviors or the reactions that were reflected back to me were ones that I didn't really like. And this gave me an opportunity to demonstrate compassion and our understanding for these behaviors, but also look at them in an unbiased point of view, be more reflective about them, which was very healing, and it provided a lot of clarity. So this month, you will have the opportunity to get kind of a higher perspective on certain behaviors of yours. The expression that came to mind or is coming to mind is outside looking in. Yeah, so you're being let know that this month you will have an opportunity to look at certain tendencies and behaviors of yours from a higher perspective. You will have an opportunity to change things, to make a difference as what is coming through, a positive difference. But of course, it will be up to how you respond to the situation, right? If you respond to it with objectivity, right? If you look at this as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to have compassion and understanding, instead of seeing it as an opportunity to point fingers or to place the blame on another or to throw it back in somebody's face. Because the example that is coming to mind, and I'll use my experience as an example, is I could have told the person who was reacting in the way that I normally do, hey, look, you do it too, right? And that would have taken attention away from the inner work, from me taking this as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to, again, have compassion. So what comes of this will very much depend on how you respond to it and how you utilize the information, what you make of it, right? And because we do have Zeus here, we have these two individuals who remind me of a wise person. Maybe it is you who will be serving as a mirror, who will be reflecting to another certain behaviors and or tendencies, right? The other situation I'm seeing here is this month you could actually be the mentor or have the opportunity to provide some guidance and or wisdom to another, or hold space for another who is going through something similar that you went through in the past, right? Who maybe is dealing with certain things that you dealt with in the past and that you have now overcome or learned a lot from, grew out of, or gained a lot of wisdom from. Okay? And so you could be showing compassion instead of judgment this month. And there could be a lot of healing through that, right? Showing compassion for somebody who is reflecting maybe an older version of yourself. Because you doing so could be, or it will be, like you demonstrating compassion for that older version of yourself. Not only for that individual, but also for that older version of yourself. And we have 65Z with yawn and boredom. Am I boring you guys? There's a situation that no longer needs your attention. There is boredom that is to be reached. So say goodbye for now. This may also be an indication that you need more sleep. Whatever the case, it's time to take a break from any monotony, whether in thoughts, people, or situation. Yeah, so with the boredom card, I do feel like you are growing out of certain behaviors that maybe weren't very healthy or that kept you in some kind of loop, because we have the Ouroboros here illustrated in the control card. Yeah, it seems like this month you guys are breaking cycles, or there will be an opportunity to break cycles. We do have the number 10 here, which can indicate endings, the end of a cycle. And with Mercury, it makes me think of thoughts, right? Thinking patterns. So you could also be kind of releasing old thinking patterns that, again, were keeping you in some kind of harmful cycle or loop that wasn't really allowing for you to grow or to heal, possibly. The Yawn card is also making me think of someone who is over something, like I'm over that, been there, done that, don't care much for it kind of attitude. So yeah, you could be riding the high horse a bit. I'm not sure if that expression has like a negative connotation to it. If it does, I apologize, because that's not what I was going for, because this feels more like seeing things from a higher perspective, right? Not letting like immaturity or, projections get the best of you, because there's something here about you seeing behind the facade, you seeing the anger for what it is, pain, right? You seeing the defensiveness for what it is, insecurity, not being distracted by what is showing up on the surface, because you know that people are layered, right? It's like the iceberg meme. There's so much going on underneath the surface, right? So I'm sensing a lot of patience here, so much compassion, but that comes with wisdom, that comes with life experience, right? Someone understands because they have gone through it themselves, because they have been there themselves. Right? So yeah, I definitely see you holding space for someone. And if it's not for another, this could be you holding space for yourself, right? You holding space for maybe that inner child, that inner teen who at times throws a tantrum, or that pain that sometimes surfaces up as anger. You're holding space for it by not judging it immediately and telling it, hey, you're wrong. Instead, you're listening to it. You're seeing, hey, anger, I see you, I hear you, and I know where you're coming from, or tell me more so I can peel back your layers and get to the core of you and soothe those wounds that have turned you into anger, right? So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of maturity here, in other words. But let me pull out the other card. Yeah, so I feel like this month you're being let known. This month you have the opportunity to either judge or to hold space, to point fingers or to listen. And we have the Two of Hearts, number 19, the Gentleman. Wow, so we have a lot of male figures in your spread. So a male, a man, or a masculine figure could be of significance. They could be playing a very important or significant role in your life this month, but it also makes me think of the inner masculine. Maybe you've heard this before, that we all have both masculine and feminine energies within us. It's kind of like the yang and the yin that bring balance and harmony to all that is. Yeah, and this could be about healing your inner masculine, or understanding your inner masculine more, maybe healing masculine wounds. Because all of these figures here look so zen and poised. Yeah, so this may have something to do with the defensiveness, getting on the defensive, insecurity masquerading as anger or even arrogance, or fearfulness manifesting as a need to control, right? Those are just examples that are coming to mind. But yeah, I think this is about healing wounds related to the ego or to the inner masculine. This could also be wounds that you are healing that are related to or associated with a father figure, a parental figure, or it could even be with authority. Because the Two of Hearts reminds me of the Two of Cups in traditional tarot, which is the card that indicates relationships, partnerships. When it is in the upright, it indicates harmonious partnerships. When it is in the reversal, it can indicate disharmony in a relationship. And I did notice that this card, the Two of Hearts, fell out in the reversal. But I haven't been reading these cards in the reversal, so I'm going to interpret it in the upright. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I did notice it did fall out in the reversal. So this lets me know that you are healing your relationship with a part of you that was often on the defensive. You're reconnecting with that part of you and you're holding space for it. And through that, you are healing as a whole. Or you could be healing your relationship with maybe authority figures, with male figures, masculine figures, or with a father parental figure. And what I mean by that is there could be reconciliation, between you and someone who maybe was very judgmental or was very harsh, or who projected a lot of their insecurities, a lot of their pain onto you, or who you see a lot of them in your own behaviors and tendencies now. But for others of you, this could simply be about, healing your relationship through simply extending forgiveness or just acquiring some kind of understanding, right? It doesn't mean that you reconcile with this person or people, if it's more than one, by maybe allowing them back into your life or anything of the sort, but it's more, emotional, it's more mental, it's more spiritual. Like, I release the pain and the hurt, the resentment, the anger that I held towards you, right? The individual or the group of people. And through that, I heal my relationship with those individuals and acquire peace, right? Or reestablish peace, reestablish harmony. Because there's something here about you finding inner peace. And this month, a lot of you could be either continuing, resuming, or starting a meditation or maybe mindfulness practice. Because I do see you being more self-aware, but to a healthy extent, right? So you're not nitpicking at everything that you're doing, or that could be the heads up this month, right? Self-awareness doesn't mean you're nitpicking at everything that you're doing and you're controlling yourself by controlling everything that you do. It's more so about you just having awareness that you're angry or that you're starting to feel a certain emotion, or that you didn't like maybe how you showed up in a certain situation, right? It's not about judging. It's not about putting yourself down, but rather just about being aware so that then you can think about how you can show up differently if that's what you want, or how you want to respond in accordance to what is surfacing up for you, how you want to hold space for a certain feeling, etc. Yeah, because with the boredom card, I am sensing less reactivity here. So it doesn't mean that you aren't feeling your emotions. You are. It's just there's more, like I said, awareness. And instead of reacting, you're actively choosing how to respond based on how you are feeling, based on your morals, your values, your principles, and so forth. And the Two of Hearts is again making me think of like mirroring, reflecting. Yeah, so your relationships are going to be very important. And so you will be either healing and or strengthening, deepening certain bonds and relationships with people who you are already in a relationship with. But I do see one specific relationship being highlighted for you this month, and it will be with the person who there will be a lot of mirroring with. And this month, the qualities, traits, and tendencies that you admire in others will most likely be ones that you also possess, but have trouble seeing or acknowledging in yourself, right? Because I am talking about mirroring. So pay close attention to what really stands out to you in others, what irks you about others, but also what you end up admiring in others. because those could be things that you are either working through or that you yourself possess or do embody. Yeah, so this month you are being accountable. You're taking responsibility for your actions, for your decisions, for how you are showing up. And you're definitely growing. Like I said, I'm sensing a lot of maturity here, especially because we have the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion and growth. And Mercury makes me think of better understanding or the mind evolving. But now I want to move on to the next method of divination. But before I do, I want to point out the number 3 because we have 33 and 3. And if I just look at the digits alone, we have 3 3s in your spread. So the number 3 could be of significance. Maybe you are life path number 3. You were born on the 3rd month of the year, on a year that ends with the number 3. Maybe you were born on the 3rd, 13th, 23rd of a month, or someone who could be playing a significant role in your life this month. But you could also be seeing the number 333 or 333 a lot throughout the month of January, or maybe you have already been seeing these numbers often. And the number 3 speaks of expansion and growth. It's also a number of creation, creativity. I also think of it as a number of connection, connectivity, and networking. So I do see you connecting with others in a new way, and you will definitely be developing your communication skills. Maybe some of you are learning to communicate your needs and or to communicate your feelings, your emotions, instead of just acting them out. Maybe, saying when you're angry instead of just isolating or, brushing it off with, I'm fine, everything's fine. So this could also be about you acknowledging what is going on within, and through that learning how to voice it. Yeah, and I definitely do see you being very introspective. It could be throughout the month of January or at some point this month. But now I do want to move on to the next method of divination. So this part of the reading might get pretty loud and noisy. So if you're wearing headphones or earphones with the volume way up, I do recommend lowering down the volume to protect your eardrums. Okay, but I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so wow, okay. So where the crystals fell, like in the sections that they fell, are the themes or topics that Spirit wants to talk more about. So to find out what wants to be said about these topics or areas of life, I will be drawing out some tarot cards for each. So we have work, money, learn, love, and tasks. So for work, so you're pretty busy this month, or you will be pretty busy. You're busy making money, you're busy learning, you're busy doing some kind of inner work perhaps. Also loving, sharing the love, and completing tasks. But for work, we have the Magician in the reversal with lack of clarity, manipulation, and illusions. Interesting. So the Magician is the number 1 major arcana of the deck, which is a number that often speaks about leadership and assertion. So I feel like Spirit is simply coming through to say, be more confident in what you do, or they're recommending for you to be a little bit more assertive or confident at work or in your work. It's okay to feel proud of yourself and about your work, about your progress. You don't have to hide that or downplay that. And they're also here to reassure you that you've got talent, you've got skill, right? Maybe you do still need to develop some skills of yours, but you are developing them, which, makes sense because there's always more that we can learn and improve upon. But just because there is doesn't mean that we can take a moment to feel satisfied with the progress that we have made and be proud of what we can do. So have confidence, or believe in yourself a little bit more, believe in your capabilities, your abilities. You're doing well. And don't fear being a beginner at something, because we all start somewhere. The greatest masters out there started at the beginning. So give yourself an opportunity to begin, to start, and then grow from there. And be open to learning. I think that's another important message coming through for you guys, or for some of you, because I do sense there could be a select few of you who are a little bit resistant to learning, to taking advice or constructive criticism. Yeah, because I was picking up on a little bit of defensiveness. So constructive criticism is there to help you grow, and it's also there to help you see in what areas you can grow and or further develop your skills or improve upon. So be open to that, because if you're not, you could be missing out on a lot, and you could also end up stifling yourself in some kind of way, right? Not all constructive criticism is great. So it's okay to discern and be a little bit selective as to what constructive criticism and feedback you consider and pay attention to, but don't completely ignore it, is the advice. So you could be receiving some feedback or constructive criticism at work, or pertaining to your work, or pertaining to your skills this month of January. And then for money, we have the 9 of Coins. Yay! So this is beautiful. The 9 of Coins is all about financial independence, and it's a card of success. Whenever the 9 of Coins shows up, it lets me know that someone is thriving, someone is balling, doing quite well. So this month there will be money in the bank. There will be profit. There will be revenue. If you have been wondering whether your financial situation will be improving, it will be improving, and it could be improving substantially in the month of January, because I see you feeling pretty relaxed about your financial situation, or the fact that you do have enough money in the bank to pay your bills, to put into your savings, and to have a little for yourself, to treat yourself or treat your loved ones. If you have a business, your business is thriving this month. If you are self-employed, if you are a freelancer and you work on commissions, or if you offer services, a lot of people will be requesting of your services, will be commissioning you. And I see you earning quite well from your services, your work, your commissions. You could even be tipped well if you receive tips. Some of you could be receiving a bonus at work if you work a 9 to 5, a corporate job, or if you are employed somewhere. But one thing for sure, you definitely will be employed, or money will be coming in this month. Yeah, so with the Magician being in the reverse and then the 9 of Coins being in the upright, if you financially profit from your work and things are going amazing for you at work, which I see it being the case for this month of January, and you feel guilty about how well you're doing because you feel like you don't deserve maybe all of this wealth or this success, look into the why. Why is it that you feel this way? Question it instead of just immediately believing in it. Because it is you who is reaping these blessings. And these blessings are yours. They're meant for you. They're not just being freely given to you. You worked hard for this. It's okay if at times it might seem a little bit unbelievable, if at times you might find it a little bit difficult to wrap your head around the fact that you're doing this well, or your business is doing this well, or that there has been major positive changes in these areas of life. But don't confuse that with, if I'm having trouble wrapping my head around this, it means that there's something wrong here. Maybe I fooled people into believing that I'm that good, or that my work is good, something along those lines. Because that's not what it is. So believe in yourself. And, if sometimes you find yourself being quite amazed, or it seems all unreal, think of it as excitement. You're just being that excited and that happy and feeling that fortunate. That blessed. And remember, it's okay for you to be happy, and it's okay for you to congratulate yourself and to feel proud of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's also nothing wrong with being amazed, right? And having trouble like wrapping your head around certain blessings. Because I see that as humility, like, wow, I still can't believe it. And that kind of moment of, is it real? Sometimes can lead to a moment of gratitude. Wow, like I still can't believe it, but it's real, and I'm so grateful for it. So yeah, gratitude is super important, and I see that you have that down. Or if you feel like you don't, you can start practicing this month of January and notice the shifts that it creates in yourself, maybe in your self-esteem, and in how you approach your blessings and how you take them in. And the Magician in the reversal is making me think of possible comparison tendencies. So there's no need for you to compare yourself to others where you end up feeling less than. Because remember what was mentioned previously, it is most likely that what you admire in others are things that you yourself possess and or already embody. So if you would only redirect the attention back to you, maybe you will be able to clearly see that there is no need for you to compare yourself to anyone because you are already the magician. Okay, but let me now pull out a card for learn, and we have the Page of Coins. Yeah, we have young but grounded, solid beginning, and strong foundation. So this makes me think about like being a beginner. The page is the youngest in the court. So as mentioned before, don't be afraid of being fairly new at something, being new somewhere. We all end up being a beginner at some point in our lives, at many points in our lives, and we all end up being new at something at different points in our life. So there's nothing wrong with starting afresh, starting anew, with being a beginner, with learning and growing. So allow yourself that. Take pride in that. It's beautiful that you are starting something new, or that you're allowing yourself to start fresh, because that means that you're living your life to the fullest, okay? You're taking advantage of all that this world has to offer. So be proud of that and be proud of yourself. And also, I do feel like you are going to feel quite proud of how far you have come, and the fact that you are developing your skills and you're getting better and better at something, or you're becoming a little bit more confident, more sure about your own skills. Beautiful. This could also be about like a baby business, like a business that you barely started, that is growing, right? And remember, we learn through experience, right? We learn sometimes through mistakes. I always think that the wisest of people are those who, fell multiple times, but then decided to get back up again and chose to learn a lot from their falls. From their mistakes. They didn't just turn a blind eye when it came to them. They saw them face to face and learned from them and grew from them. So it's okay if you're stumbling and you're fumbling, because that will give you an opportunity to become more agile. Maybe to grow thicker skin, or just, obtain that wisdom that maybe you right now admire in others. But for love, we have the Knight of Wands with fearless, risk taker, and free spirit. Oh, this knight seems very compassionate, very loving and helpful, kind and understanding, because I don't know if you can really tell, but this knight is helping this kitten down from this tree, right? So this also makes me think of seeing and are noticing when others are struggling, seeing when you are struggling, and instead of ignoring that, acknowledging that and seeing how you can help and be of service. It could be to others or to yourself, if you have the ability to be of service to someone, or just hold space for another who is maybe struggling to understand something. So I'm seeing a lot of compassionate energy here. And the Knight of Wands also makes me think of freeing yourself from things that were holding you back, or just were limiting you. Maybe we're disconnecting you or distancing you from the world. And it's interesting how we have like two riders, because again, I thought of the expression high horse. So maybe some of you were sitting on your high horse for a while, looking down on the world, judging from a safe space, And instead of that allowing for connection and understanding, empathy and compassion, it was creating distance and then maybe even disconnection. And so this month, instead of being above, you're meeting eye to eye with people. You're connecting with people by being present, not only with them, but also being present with yourself. Yeah, and the phrase free spirit is making me think of someone who has freed themselves from a lot of burdens, from a lot of hurts and pains, maybe old programmings or projections that were just weighing them down, holding them back, or making their heart heavy. But now I'm going to draw a card for tasks. Oh, okay, so the card that fell on the board is the Hanged Man in the upright with surrender, sacrifice, and uncertainty. And the Hanged Man is associated with the zodiac sign Pisces. So Pisces could be of significance. And then these two cards flipped over. They didn't fall out, they just flipped over at the same time. And it is the World card in the upright with completion, wholeness, end of cycle, and the Five of Swords with surrender, defeat, the cost of battle. So the World made me think of what I spoke of previously, ending cycles. And so if you believe in soul contracts, a soul contract may be coming to an end, or you're terminating some kind of soul contract, or this could just be about you learning a valuable life lesson this month, right? A lesson that maybe your soul sought out to learn through incarnating in this lifetime, in this world or realm. But the World card also makes me think of you completing a task, maybe a task that was pending. But it's quite interesting because I'm getting actually a mixed bag here. And this is going to sound very general. But what I'm seeing is there will be tasks you will be completing, getting done and over with, and completing successfully because the World card came out on the upright. And when it does, it indicates success. But there will also be some tasks that will be put on hold that might be pending this month. And it's interesting that we have the key term surrender twice, because what else I was getting is that there will be other tasks, maybe errands that you might need to completely surrender or kind of like scratch out of your to-do list, like throw in the trash bin is what is coming through. Yeah, maybe there were certain things due in the month of January that at some point during this month you will learn that you no longer have to worry about because they're no longer due or they've been canceled is what is coming through, because I'm seeing postponements, but I'm also seeing cancellations, right? Something being canceled or you needing to cancel something, you needing to deprioritize maybe a task or an obligation. But one thing for sure with the World card is whatever it is that you need to complete or get done this month, you will be getting done and or completing, right? So whatever doesn't get canceled, whatever doesn't get postponed, and you still need to complete it before the month ends or within this month, you're getting it done, and you're getting it done successfully, and you're getting it done on time is what is coming through, or before time, because I don't see you being in a hurry. I don't see you being in a rush or cramming. So yeah, and if you are students and there's assignments due, if there are tests you will be taking at some point this month, you will be acing them or getting a passing grade, that is for sure. Okay, I did speak of a presentation or a speech, so if you do have to give a presentation, know it's going to turn out quite well. With the Five of Swords, if you are students, if you are enrolled in a school, an institution, you could be dropping one or more classes that you will come to realize you don't necessarily need, or that you can take at a later time. Yeah, and you could be doing so because either of a conflicting schedule, or if this is a class that you don't need, a class or a course that you don't need, maybe a seminar, you could be dropping it because you don't like it, or you see that it's just taking too much of your time, it's completely unnecessary. or you're being advised to consider that. Yeah, because I'm seeing how these coins are falling from this hangman's pocket. So yeah, some of you could be deciding to drop something because you're seeing that continuing with it would just be a waste of resources, a waste of your time, or that it's unnecessary. That it would be wiser, more efficient, more conducive for what you are trying to accomplish if you just let it go, let it be, or not prioritize it maybe this month, but at a later time instead. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Oh, I lied. Now I want to draw out one more oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. I've been doing that for the other groups, so it's fair that I do it for you guys as well. As I'm shuffling the deck, if you'd like, you can ask a question, and hopefully the card that ends up falling out will have a direct answer for your question. Okay, so I will start shuffling now. Okay, and three cards fell out together. And we have Sea Glass with your future is being rewritten, metamorphosis. Yeah, some of you could be starting anew, starting afresh, or you're moving forward with a new mindset, with a different or new approach. The new and different approach is what is giving you a fresh or new start. But we also have sailboat with sail on. You're heading in the right direction. Yes, as mentioned before, you're being advised to continue on. And treasure map with you're almost there, don't lose focus. So if there is a goal you're aiming to achieve, you're aiming to get certified for something, graduate, get a license, get your degree, etc., you're almost there, so keep on going, okay? I have been reading the guidebook messages, so I'm going to do that. So let's look at Sea Glass. Okay, so we have your future is being rewritten, metamorphosis, and the message: when regular glass items such as broken bottles or dishware end up in the ocean, they become smooth and refined until they eventually resemble a small stone. This small stone is called sea glass. After spending about 20 to 50 years in the ocean, sea glass washes ashore to be appreciated as a beautiful seaside treasure. Sea glass is here to remind you that it's never too late to rewrite your future. Like sea glass, you are undergoing a metamorphosis. The universe is closing one door for you and opening another. This transformation will turn your faults into fortunes, your weaknesses into strengths, and your shadows into light. Trust the process. Yeah, so there's definitely evolution, growth occurring this month. Yeah, so this is beautiful. You are going through a beautiful metamorphosis and transformation. We have sail on with you're heading in the right direction, and the message: congratulations, sailor. It looks like you're heading in the right direction. You are living in alignment with your higher purpose bestowed to you by the universe. In doing so, you are opening new doorways to spiritual blessings and opportunities. These blessings may include soul tribe connections, soulmate connections, material abundance, which is what the 9 of Pentacles can indicate, emotional fulfillment, and the arrival of your manifestations. With all of this cosmic support, you are unstoppable. Yeah, so you are manifesting blessings. You are manifesting them. You are creating them through your faith, through your belief, through your perseverance, your hard work, your dedication. So never doubt your capabilities, your power, your light, your inner magic, if you want to look at it that way. And yeah, with the 2 of Hearts, like I mentioned, relationships will be highlighted. And I did talk about the relationships you already have, but it could also be that this month you will be connecting with new people. Some of you could be connecting with a member of your soul tribe, your soul family, maybe a soulmate. Or maybe someone who you do have a soul contract with, or who you agreed to, your soul agreed to meet in this lifetime. Okay, but now treasure map. And we have, you're almost there, don't lose focus. X marks the spot. Don't lose focus now because you are so close to digging up that buried treasure. Continue along your current path because what you desire is only a few paces ahead. Prosperity awaits. Beautiful. Wow, so the year 2026 could be a very fruitful, abundant, auspicious year for you guys. One in which you are experiencing a lot of growth in different areas of your life and seeing your powers, your talents, your skills flourish. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Things I want to point out. Kettles, pots could be of significance. The number 3, 33, 333 as mentioned before, as well as the number 10 or 1. I'm also seeing 2. You could be seeing a lot of angel numbers, repeating numbers throughout the month of January. That could be an indicator that you are in alignment. It could also be an indicator to pay closer attention, maybe to your tendencies, your behavior, your habits. It could be a sign that maybe a little introspection is needed, or self-reflection, or just a little time with yourself, or a little bit more compassion is needed towards yourself, possibly. Sailboats, maps, treasure maps, sea glass could be of significance. And horses. Some of you could have been born in the year of the horse, or someone who was born in the year of the horse will be playing a significant role in your life. Oh, and zodiac signs. We have Gemini, Capricorn, Aries, Pisces, and Virgo. Yes, Virgo. Possibly Taurus as well. But these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you, as well as your higher self. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of January. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 4, bienvenidos to your reading. So a couple of messages came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group. The first message was, listen to your heart and you will know. The second message was reaching you or reaching out for you or trying to reach you. And the third message was actually a word, a Japanese word, which was sayonara. I believe that's how it's pronounced, which means goodbye or farewell. So I wonder if some of you are from Japan, or if you are planning to visit or travel to Japan at some point in the month of January, or if your long life dream is to someday visit Japan. If that is true, then the word sayonara could be serving as a confirmation that there are messages in this reading meant for you to hear at this moment. But this could also be serving as a confirmation for some of you that your dream of visiting Japan will be made real. Or if you have already bought a plane ticket to Japan, then you will have an amazing trip and all will go well. It could also be that this month you will be getting in contact with, spending a lot of time with, possibly communicating with someone whose first language is Japanese or different from yours, since this person could be from the eastern part of Asia. So if not Japan, then possibly South or North Korea, China, Taiwan, or Mongolia. So if you are studying or learning Japanese or any other foreign language, this month you will have the opportunity to speak in this foreign language with a native speaker. And this is going to be an awesome experience for you guys, because through this interaction and or conversation, you will come to realize that you are making beautiful progress, or that you can now hold a conversation in this language. Also, at some point during the month of January, you may find yourself needing to make a very important decision. And if so, you are being advised to listen to your heart. I know that's very cheesy and cringy, but I feel like this decision is one that requires for you to be very honest with yourself about what you want or what you feel to be right for you or right for this situation. This month, pay attention to the signs or anything that keeps popping up repeatedly, because these might be signs coming from your spirit guides, your spirit team, or even deities if you connect or work with deities, because I do sense that spirit will be trying to reach you throughout or at some point in the month of January. If you are someone who normally meditates but you haven't done so in a while, consider meditating this month, especially when you feel like there is a message incoming or spirit is trying to reach out to you, or you get that feeling when something is at the tip of your tongue, like a word or a thought, but you can't really figure out what it is. Because it's very, very likely that there is a message trying to not only reach you, but come into your awareness, come into focus. So you could be channeling a lot of messages this month of January. And there could be an individual, someone who is physically incarnated in this current reality, who will be trying to reach you. And if you are the one who has been trying to reach someone in specific, you will be getting in contact with this person at some point during this month. Okay, but now I'm going to reveal the message that is on the card that you were drawn to, which is part of a homemade deck that contains quotes from the animated series Adventure Time. By the way, the color yellow or green could be of significance. The color yellow really, really stood out to me. But we have, I am ready to receive instruction from the realm of creation above me. I am open, use me. And this was said by the character Jake. Yeah, so I wonder if some of you are intuitive channelers, if you are mediums, if you often channel messages for others or meant for others, because I do sense or see you connecting with spirit quite a bit this month. As mentioned before, channeling a lot of messages and or information. So you could be serving as a channeler, or this month you are going to be very open and receptive to receiving guidance from the divine, universe, spirit, whoever it is that you resonate with. If you're not really open to channeling messages from spirit, let's say, then this could be about you being more receptive to your own imagination, you being ready to receive information from your own inner being, maybe from your inner child, that playful, creative, imaginative, and even curious side of yourself. Right? So if you are someone who plans ahead of time, or they first have to think about what it is that they're going to write before they start writing, this month you may find yourself going a little bit more with the flow, free-flowing, freestyling a bit. You know, dancing without a choreography, writing without really thinking about what it is that you're going to write. That sort of thing. Those are just examples, right? But I do see you allowing yourself to be a little bit more in the moment and create and or come up with ideas in the moment. And you could be doing so as a way to maybe get your creative juices flowing, release some kind of pressure, or even inhibition. So now that I said all of that, this month some of you may be looking for inspiration to reignite your inner spark, your creative or passionate spark. And if so, you could be trying different methods of doing so. And I feel like the one method that will work for you is to just let yourself free flow or to give yourself permission to do something that is just solely for fun, just for you. Allow yourself to sing happily without worrying about whether it's sounding nice or not, just belching it out. Again, I'm just giving different random examples, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey here. This is about giving yourself a little bit of freedom to simply express yourself. Okay, but now I want to move on to the first set of cards, which are meant to give us an overview of this month as well as a look at the main themes and lessons of the month of January. So if you are creators, you could be a little bit more relaxed when it comes to your creative process. Or, if you are employed, you could find yourself being a little bit more relaxed at work or when you're working. But let's see. We have the 6th house, okay, with Venus in Virgo and criticism. I said, okay, because this card always reminds me of perfectionism. And I was about to mention perfectionism tendencies after reading the Jake quotes, but I kind of held back from mentioning it because I didn't want to immediately assume that this was what it was about. But now that I see the criticism card, it definitely could be about perfectionism, right? Someone's perfectionism tendencies or concern, if not fear of being judged, criticized, or harshly critiqued, might be making it difficult for them to simply create or be themselves, or might be what has led to someone feeling or being uninspired, or might have led to some kind of creative blockages or just mental blockages. But let me pull out the rest of the cards. And because we do have this pointing finger here, it could be you who sometimes demands perfection of yourself. But if not, this need for perfection could come from others expecting that from you, expecting perfection from you. With the eye here, some of you may be in the public eye, or you could be in a field, in an industry, a line of work that exposes you to the criticism and or judgment of others, or kind of puts you in the spotlight. Yeah, because the eye makes me think of being seen, of feeling like you're constantly being seen, witnessed, or if it's not you, it could be your work. Maybe some of you do receive constant feedback or a lot of feedback at once, and that could sometimes end up being very overwhelming and or overbearing. Because I am picking up on someone wanting to do their best or deliver the best because a lot of people are watching, or they feel like a lot of people are expecting great things from them, or they want to maybe stand out, right? They don't want to disappoint. It could also be because they feel or they know that a lot is expected from them, right? There's really high expectations that maybe someone here feels obligated to meet, or because they fear being harshly critiqued or criticized for a job or performance not done well. And this is creating a lot of pressure to do well, pressure to be seen well, pressure to perform well. Or to create or deliver something that is outstanding. But we have number 34 with hush up, and the key phrase is silence, discretion, contemplation, equanimity, consideration, and privacy. Yeah, I wonder if some of you are in the public eye, or if you are often surrounded by a lot of people, or if there's often a lot of talk about you, about your personal affairs, about your private life. Because I am sensing a desire for privacy. Or what I'm also picking up is a suggestion or recommendation to be more selective as to who you share your private matters with this month. And not only your private matters, your personal life, but also your ideas, your current or future plans, right? Because I do see there being a lot of eyes on you, or a lot of attention on you. Or there could be one person who will have their eye on you, as in they will be very interested in what it is that you're doing, what your plans are, what you're coming up with, what you're working on, etc. This month, someone may be confiding in you, could be more than one person, and whoever is confiding in you, they will be expecting discretion from you. So just be very careful and or mindful of what it is that you divulge and or share with others this month, not only when it comes to you, your life, but also when it comes to other people's affairs. And we have cuddly with sweet, the number 46, and the message, what you cuddle cuddles you back. So take time to cuddle. Find a comfortable place to sit or lay down. Wrap your arms around yourself or your partner for deep breaths for at least 5 minutes. Listen only to the breath. Feel the warmth and energy, a cuddly and sweet energy. It needs you now. Okay, so this month you may be getting all cuddly with a loved one, with a significant other. I do see you spending time with a significant other or with a loved one. So if you are hoping to reunite with someone or have more quality time with a loved one, there will be an opportunity to do so this month. Some of you could be going on a little getaway with a loved one, a significant other. And I do see a lot of catching up. Catching up with friends, catching up with loved ones. And although there aren't any cards here that indicate traveling, I am picking up on traveling. It could be a long distance trip or a short distance trip that you're taking this month. Or if it's not you, it could be someone who is going on this trip to visit you, to spend time with you. Okay, and we have the Queen of Hearts with number 23, the ring. So the ring often makes me think of commitment, and because we have cuddly here, some of you may be in a committed relationship, or this month someone is going to offer commitment to another, right? So if you are, let's say, dating, if you are in a romantic relationship, you could be moving your relationship to the next level of commitment at some point during the month of January. I was about to say June, maybe because I was looking at the number 6. Yeah, so the month of June could be of significance, but it could also be that some of you have recently gotten engaged, and it is in January when you are planning your wedding or your marriage ceremony, or it could be this month that you are getting engaged, maybe. Because I am seeing the possibility of a proposal here. But if you have recently gotten married, this month you could be sharing photos, pictures of your ceremony, of your wedding with friends, with family. And there is a heads up here to not take certain commentary personally, right? If someone starts being very nitpicky and judgmental and just can't seem to shush up, remember, it's your day, or it was your day, not theirs. And if you loved it, if you enjoyed it, if you're still donning that afterglow from your wedding or marriage ceremony or proposal, etc., then it was a beautiful day, regardless of what anybody else says. It was a beautiful day. You and your partner look gorgeous because we do have this beautiful bouquet here. So don't let anyone rain on your parade. This month you may actually be deciding or choosing to keep something hush-hush or simply not share it with others, a specific few or someone in specific, because you'd rather not hear their or anyone's opinion about it, or there could be something that you fear being criticized or judged for, and that's why you are choosing to, at least for now, not share it. This could have something to do with a decision you made or that you are making this month, or it could have to do with a relationship, or it could be about a rendezvous, maybe an interaction you had with another. You may also be keeping a surprise event for another a secret. Maybe a friend of yours is the one planning a proposal or getting proposed to, and you will need to keep this proposal a secret for the meanwhile, to not spoil the surprise. But with the Queen of Hearts, which reminds me of the Queen of Cups in tarot, and then Venus, which is the planet of beauty and love, this month you will be radiating, you will be glowing. As mentioned, you could be wearing and or donning some kind of afterglow. But I do see you being very happy, kind of radiating from the inside out. And, it could be this glow that is attracting a lot of attention, because I do see you being the focus of attention at some point. And, if you are in a romantic relationship, the eye here is letting me know that you are, and you will definitely be this month, the apple of your significant other's eyes. And this could be a mutual thing. So expect to hear a lot of compliments from your significant other, or in general, actually, expect to hear a lot of compliments. It could be about your aura, your natural beauty, your hairdo, your makeup, your outfit, your voice, anything related to you. And that includes whatever you create, whatever you share with others that came from you, that you made, that you created. And if you are in a relationship, or if you find yourself dating and are getting to know somebody in a romantic way in the month of January, because I do see that being a possibility for some of you who are, open and ready to date or to develop a romantic relationship with another, that this significant other is going to be magnetized towards you. You will catch them looking at you a lot, and looking at you with adoration, affection, and with awe, right? There's something here about someone being kind of starstruck by another, or being taken aback by another's beauty, by another's radiance, even goodness, right? Because the Queen of Hearts or the Queen of Cups is very gentle, very loving, and ethereal as well. So yeah, some people might be looking at you as quite ethereal, otherworldly, or that's kind of the presence, the vibe that you're going to be giving off at some point. But with Virgo here, I'm just seeing natural beauty that cannot be ignored or overlooked. And I will say, I have to mention it because it is coming up, which is there could be some jealousy or envy coming from others towards you at some point this month, which is why it was recommended for you to be quite selective as to who you share your personal matters with, who you open up to, right? If you get like a strange vibe or feeling from someone, pay attention to that. And if there's anyone who is just outright critiquing you, trying to bring you down with their criticism, unnecessary commentary, don't take that energy in, because I can't say with 100% certainty that this will be the case, but it's very possible that their criticism, their critiquing is coming from a space of jealousy or envy, or it's a projection of maybe their own insecurities and so forth. Yeah. So if you are in the habit of protecting your energy field, of practicing spiritual energy hygiene, then continue this month. And if you're not, consider starting or looking into that and practice protecting your energy as well. If you are someone who believes in like the evil eye, you can wear a protective amulet or a charm, or just set intentions of protection whenever you are going out or visiting people, etc. It's not necessary, it's not needed, but if you believe in those sort of things, then this could be of help, or it could give you peace of mind when you're going out and about. Yeah, because I feel like you are definitely divinely protected. Your spirit team is with you at all times. They're looking after you. And I do sense that your spirit team, spirit guides will, or even ancestors or loved ones who are on the other side, will kind of give you hints. It could be like intuitive hints, or they will send you signs when something is off, or when you maybe need to, set strong boundaries, or not walk into a space perhaps, or leave a space, leave an environment. But with the Cuddly card and the Queen of Cups, apart from, this jealous and envious energy that I'm picking up on, I'm also picking up on a lot of love and affection. So you will definitely be surrounded by loving energy that will overpower any low vibrational energy intentions that you might be coming across with. Because as mentioned before, I do see you being protected, not only by the divine, but also by loving individuals who are around you. So I do see people coming to your defense if anyone ends up being disdainful towards you. I do see people having your back. And yeah, there could be a friend, right? Or a family member, or maybe a follower, a viewer, if you are a public figure or in the public eye, who will not let another speak badly about you or create any drama in your name or about you. Like, they will hush them up or shut them down in a very eloquent and sophisticated way. Yeah, so you have high class individuals on your side. And if you will have a following or a community, your community seems to be full of loving, classy individuals. And the beautiful thing about this energy with equanimity showing up in the Hush-Up card is you're maintaining your poise this month. So you're not letting anyone's BS get to you, because you're spotting it for what it is. And you're choosing not to touch that, get into that, or let that get anywhere near you, your energy field, your space. And so you're keeping your head held high throughout this month, and maintaining your integrity is also what is coming through. I don't know if this is important or if it makes a difference or not, but I do see you winning over some people who might have tried to push your buttons or ruffle your feathers because of how you responded to their rage bait, for example, or comment, or whatever it may be. Because you're coming through as quite professional, elegant, and or classy. And this will be garnering the respect or the admiration of quite a few people. Could even be of your enemies, or those who believe to be your enemies, or had some beef with you at some point. And the peculiar thing about this is, if there are people who are jealous or envious of you, these could be individuals that you might not even know, right? And who do not even know you, personally know you. Yeah, so all of this is pointing to that you have or are learning to protect your energy. You have come to know your worth, or you are knowing your worth, and you understand that how others choose to show up and what others choose to say about you has more to say about them and has more to do with them and little to nothing about you. So you're definitely coming through as a queen, regardless of your sex or gender identity. You're coming through as a queen. This energy is sort of reminding me of Mia Thermopolis' grandmother, Clarice Rinaldi, the queen, or who used to be the queen of Genovia. These are fictional characters, by the way, but if you've seen The Princess Diaries, you know who I'm talking about and how badass the queen was. That's the queenly energy that I'm picking up here. And the expression silencing the haters came to mind. So yeah, the haters will be silenced this month by your presence, by your poise, your eloquence, by your sincerity, your integrity. You're coming through as a bit unstoppable this month. No one will be able to bring you down. You will get to decide who has an effect on you. You will get to decide what truly matters, what is truly worth considering or not, which is leader behavior. And this month you will be discovering, acknowledging once more that you do have ride or die friends, that you have really cool friends, or you have an amazing support group, support system, loving individuals by your side, or an amazing community. But now I want to move on to the next method of divination. So for this part of the reading, things might get pretty loud and noisy, so if you're wearing headphones or earphones with the volume way up, I do recommend for you to lower down the volume just to protect your eardrums. Okay, so I will start in 1, 2, 3. I think that's it. Okay, so I will take this crystal that fell almost outside of the money section because it fell right on the line. I'm going to take it. So where the crystals fell and the sections that they fell are the themes or topics that Spirit wants to talk more to you about, or they do want to deliver some messages about. So to find out what these messages are, I'm going to shuffle the tarot deck and pull out a card for each topic or theme here. So we'll start off with money. Oh, what just came through with the 6th house and the ring is this month you will be committed to your health, to improving your health or just maintaining your good health. You will be committed to your well-being. Right? So you may be a little bit more health conscientious this month, or just taking better care of your body, your mental well-being, and even your physical appearance, your personal hygiene. Let's see. And you will be seeing improvements or betterment in yourself, in your health, as a result of you taking better care of yourself, or prioritizing your well-being. But for money, we have the Lovers with kindred spirits, desire, and connection. Interesting. Okay, so one thing I was thinking about is if you are planning a wedding, an engagement party, or some kind of romantic event this month, you could be splurging a bit on this event. Although what I heard in my mind was money is not an issue. So a significant other could be reassuring you that money isn't an issue, that there isn't a budget maybe or a limit to how much can be invested in this event. Or you could be the one reassuring a loved one. Or this could be a situation where a couple is agreeing that extravagance isn't really important, right? What's important is being together and being united, right? So whether there is a lavish party or wedding ceremony or not, it won't make the day of union any less special. And the Lovers card is also making me think of like a couple having the same financial goals or financial values, views, and this bringing harmony or more harmony in the relationship. So this month you may be finding out that when it comes to money, you and your partner share the same views, or that you make brilliant business partners is also what is coming through. But this month, you could also be talking about money with a significant other. Maybe whether or not you want to get a joint account, or whether you want to invest in maybe a property. And because the Lovers fell out in the upright, I see two people or a couple, a partnership, being able to talk about money without conflict or anybody getting upset. Yeah, so if you were worried about that, worried about whether you could talk about money, finances with a significant other or with a loved one, maybe with a business partner, you're being let know that you can, or this month you're discovering that you can, that it's safe to do so, and that there's no problem talking about this. You can talk about it like two mature, grown, sophisticated adults. So that's what I'm seeing when it comes to money. But because I did mention business partnerships, some of you could be entering into a business partnership with a significant other, with a spouse, maybe, or you could be talking about that, the possibility of that this month. Or this month you will be finding out that your significant other is pretty business savvy, or they give amazing money advice. They are someone that you can go to talk to about financial matters. If you are in a romantic committed relationship, this month both you and your partner will be making good money. But if only one person in the relationship earns money, it is that person who will be making good money this month. If you are not in a romantic relationship, this month you will be financially profiting from collaborations, a business partnership, or through working with another, or with the help of your business or professional connections. Because I am seeing something about you benefiting from having networked or networking. Yeah, so a connection of yours could be hooking you up with a gig or a job, or could be recommending you to potential clients or customers, and in that way providing you with financial opportunities. Regardless, this month you will be making or considering making an important decision that will have an effect or impact on your finances or financial situation. Example, joining assets with another, becoming a business partner, joining a company, signing a deal, making a big purchase, investing, becoming a dependent or claiming a dependent, collaborating with another, marrying, etc. Oh, this could be the decision I spoke about before, right? So remember what the advice was. Listen to your heart and you will know. You will know what to decide upon, okay? But now I'm going to draw out a card for Learn. And two cards fell out together, and we have Strength, beautiful, another major arcana, with Courage, Overcoming, and Control. And then, well, we have the Star card in the upright with Faith, Renewal, and Healing. Wow, yeah, so you are definitely thriving this month. We have three major arcana so far. The Strength card is associated with the zodiac sign Leo, the Star card with Aquarius. So far we have Virgo, Gemini, Leo, Aquarius, and the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Cups, reminds me of the zodiac sign Cancer. Wow, so with Learn, you're learning, or you have learned more like valuable life lessons, and all I can think about is you healing, you overcoming, you rising like the phoenix. Some of you have learned how to take better care of yourself. You have learned a lot more about your physical body, about your health. Others of you have learned a lot about your triggers, about patterns that you have been repeating. You have learned how to break cycles, your cycles. You've also learned how to self-soothe, self-regulate, and how to be there for yourself, how to be a constant, supportive presence for yourself. You have learned about your boundaries, how to assert them, how to own up to them is also what came through. Interesting. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what came to mind. So I'm sharing it with you guys in case it makes sense to some of you. And you have also learned how to regulate your emotions as well as listen to your body. Some of you have overcome addictions, or if not addiction, it could be an illness. I do see recovery here. Others of you have learned about your special or specific needs. If you have a mental illness or disability, you have learned more about it. You have not only identified it for what it is, but also have come to learn more about it. Enough for you to know how to maybe manage or how to live with it or overcome it, or even see it as a strength instead of a weakness or a fault. These two cards are beautiful, and all that I'm seeing is that you have learned so much about you, and so many things that help you thrive, help you feel good about yourself, help you live your best life, or help you live life to the fullest, to the best of your capabilities. There's so much healing here, so much forgiveness as well. That's what I'm picking up from the Star card. And also a feeling of liberation. Like being liberated from thoughts, ideas, patterns that were very disempowering. You guys are definitely shining. And you're coming through with such a strong presence. So it makes even more sense why you could be or you will be garnering a lot of attention, because your presence is undeniable. Like as soon as you walk into a room, people will feel it, will feel your presence. You definitely know your worth, or you're coming to know your worth, and you're learning more about how to take better care of you, and how to be a good supportive friend to yourself. If you have animal companions, I see you spending a lot of time with an animal companion. And this animal companion of yours, I'm picking up that they are a spirit animal of yours, or they're part of your soul family, soul tribe. Yeah, but an orange kitten or an orange cat could be of significance. And now I'm going to draw out a card for the topic of love and relationships. Wow, another major arcana, the Magician and the Upright, with resourcefulness, manifestation, and make things happen. Wow, you guys are really not playing here. And then we have the Eight of Cups in the reversal with stagnation, clinginess, and fear of moving on. Interesting, because I was delivering so many messages for people who are in a romantic relationships or about romantic partnerships. And this combination makes me think of someone who might currently be single or who has recently come out of a relationship or gone their separate way from another. So if that is your case, this month you are reclaiming your life is what is coming through. You're getting your spark back, your mojo back, especially if you have been feeling a bit down and under after this breakup or the end of this relationship. Because I see you thriving and I see you feeling quite good about yourself, feeling good in your decision, loving your independence, loving this new sense of freedom that maybe you thought was possible or you thought you had lost. Because I do see, for those of you who are single, you loving the single life. Yeah, because the Eight of Cups is making me think of someone who right now has really no desire to, or is in no rush to, get into a relationship because they're okay. They're okay being single. They're really enjoying this time that they are giving themselves to get to know themselves. Even if you choose to date this month or get to know someone more intimately, you are still prioritizing your relationship with yourself. So if you are currently single, you will be thriving, you will be enjoying yourself, your life, your relationship status, and making the most of it. This month, you could be focusing more on you, on honing your skills, your craft, your inner power. Some of you could be getting into learning more about spells, incantation, magic, or you could be starting something of your own. It could be like a business or a product line is also what is coming through. Some of you could be offering services this month, because love could also speak about love for the work, right? So you're loving your work, you're loving what you do. Right now, you really don't have any plans of doing anything different, of looking for different avenues. Yeah, because the Eight of Cups in the reversal is making me think of no distractions. Nothing distracting you from your goals, from your passions, from harnessing your powers or developing your skills, boosting your own confidence, and living your best life. I see a lot of you cultivating a very healthy lifestyle and peaceful life. And for those of you who are in a committed romantic relationship, I think this applies to you guys as well, because even though you are in a harmonious relationship, you are dedicating time for you, right? You're still prioritizing yourself. Yes, your relationship is a part of your life, but it's not all of who you are. You're realizing that, or you know that. And so you're making time for you. You're also taking a moment to get to know you and to make space for your own interests, that are separate from your partner. So I do see you having something of your own. Like I mentioned, some of you could be talking with your romantic spouse like about a business or about financial moves, and it could be because you do have your own business, or you will be thinking about or planning on starting your own business or starting something of your own, maybe investing in a hobby, because I do see you very focused on a passion of yours, on your own interest, on your own pursuits. Yeah, and if you feel like the energy that I described is not one that you're really embodying at this moment, then I feel like this month of January is one in which you are being advised to focus more on yourself, right? If you have recently come out of a relationship and you are kind of determined to get back together with this person, I'm not saying whether that's a good or bad idea, but I feel like this month you are being advised to give yourself some time, right? Before you jump into any reconciliation or solely focus on reconciling with someone. Maybe take some time to be with yourself, to maybe feel through whatever is coming up for you, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable, to heal, and also to better understand whether this reconciliation is something that you truly, truly want, or if it's something that you are seeking as a means to avoid uncomfortable feelings or to distract yourself from something else in your life that is calling your attention or is in need of your attention and or focus at this moment. Because what I'm seeing is, if you do place focus on you, if you prioritize your well-being, if you do carve some time to get to know yourself, get to know more about your interests and develop them, you will experience some kind of flourishing. Maybe a flourishing of yourself, or of a skill, of a talent, or maybe of a passion. Yeah, so I feel like some of you guys are being encouraged to focus a little on yourself, whether you are single in a relationship or are dating this month, so that you can see how amazing you are and how brightly you shine with and without the company of another or someone in specific. Because if you this month choose to manifest something or someone of the past back into your life, you will manifest this. Not only this, but also the patterns associated with whatever or whoever you are wishing to bring back into your life. Therefore, if you wish to experience something different, consider taking some time for yourself before calling back into your reality anything of the past that you have yet to really address. Okay, but now I want to draw out some oracle cards to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. And as I'm shuffling the deck, if you'd like, you can ask a question, and hopefully the message on the card that ends up falling out will provide you with a direct answer. And if you would like advice and or guidance on a specific situation, please keep that situation in mind and set the intention to receive guidance and or advice. As I'm shuffling the deck, and whatever card ends up falling out, the message on the card will be the advice and or guidance meant for you or your situation. Okay, but I'm now shuffling the deck. And two cards fell out together, and we have Sea Turtle with slow down, be patient, and persistent. Interesting. If you have met someone who you would like to get to know in a more romantic way, you're being advised to take it slow with this person. Give yourself some time to get to know each other, to get to know this person. But if you haven't met anyone and you're looking to enter into another romantic relationship, you are being advised to give yourself a little bit more time to be with yourself before getting into another relationship. And while you are taking this time to be with yourself, really focus on you, on your goals, on your interests, and so forth. Because I think that will be very, very healing for you, or it will provide you with a lot of the answers and or the clarity that you've been looking for. But of course, this is just advice, right? You can take it or leave it. It's up to you. And we also have Sand Dollar with manifestation and be open to receiving. So yeah, with the Magician, you're definitely manifesting abundance. You are learning that you are an amazing manifester, that you can make your dreams come true, and that you can call in and or attract that which your heart desires, right? But I feel like some of you are also learning that there is a right time and a right place for certain things. So although you can have something right now, is it really the right time for it? You know, that's the kind of question I see you kind of considering contemplating, or I see you realizing that it's an important question to ask at times in specific situations. But I do want to read the guidebook messages associated with these cards. So, Sand Dollar with manifestation, be open to receiving, and Sand Dollars represent prosperity and abundance. The Sand Dollar is here to remind you that you have the power to manifest your deepest desires. To attract these desires, you must live in a constant state of gratitude while fulfilling your higher purpose. I do not really resonate with that sentence, but if you do, then just completely ignore me. But continuing on, if your manifestations do not align with your higher purpose, it is unlikely that the universe will fulfill them. Don't be disappointed if this happens. It just means that the universe has something better in store for you. You are capable of manifesting many things, including relationships, career opportunities, financial abundance, and spiritual development. When manifesting, it's essential that you maintain a positive mindset. Your thoughts have the power to transform your reality. And by believing that you're attracting your desires, you actually draw them closer to you. So you are honing your powers, and you're realizing this month how powerful you actually are. Okay, and I do want to read the message for Sea Turtle. So we have slow down, be patient, and persistent. The sea turtle moves slowly, gracefully, and can live up to 100 years. This makes the sea turtle a symbol of patience, wisdom, and longevity. The sea turtle is asking you to take a deep breath and slow your course. There is no reason to rush through projects, milestones, or responsibilities. Many of us were taught from a young age to believe that faster is better. However, this isn't necessarily true, especially when considering soul growth and development. Whatever it is you're doing, focus on the quality of your work and do it wholeheartedly. Even though this may slow you down in terms of time, you will prevail exceedingly. Ooh, interesting. So I think this month you are prioritizing quality over quantity. And it's not that you're being very nitpicky with your work, it's just that you're considering and are prioritizing creating something that is either very meaningful to you or that you yourself are quite proud of, right? Not because it meets some kind of expectation coming from others, but because it is a reflection of you, of what you want to convey, of what you would like to share and or contribute to maybe the world or a community. Yeah, this energy of slowing down feels a little bit sensual to me, because it's like you're getting intimate with your work, with your creative process, or with your creations, with your projects, your endeavors. It's becoming something more personal, or it has become something more personal for you. And this is making it a lot more meaningful and purposeful. Yeah, so the Magician card also makes me think of you creating something that is authentic and raw, because it's coming from a very sincere space, and it's not really focused on or based on whether it will do well, whether it will be popular or not, or whether it will meet certain people's expectations. I mean, that could still be a focus, but it's not the main focus. It's not the sole focus. And this could be true to studies as well, right? You're learning and or studying something that you enjoy, that you are very passionate about, or you're finding passion for it. You're creating some kind of meaning behind it. Yeah, and I think it's this shift, right? This different approach that is attracting like more attention towards you, or it's attracting maybe more opportunities in the areas of like career, work, or maybe studies, or creative endeavors. Because I do see you manifesting abundance. I do see you manifesting wealth. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Things I want to point out: flowers, bouquets, wreaths could be of significance, as well as rings. Sea turtles, sea anemones also is what came to mind, could be of significance. And orange cats or felines in general could be of significance. There's something here about candles, incense, or candle magic spells. So if you recently made some kind of spell or some kind of ritual, like a money ritual, for example, know that it's working, or it will work. It's going to give you the results intended. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or comment. And if you are new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides, as well as any other being of light who came through for assisting me with delivering these messages to you guys. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of January. And until the next moment, bye bye.